scrappy there.
We need to buy some.
Yeah. They're going to tournament us later on. Oh my gosh.
Which one doesn't work? Maybe they all decided to watch the last day. The one without the fuzz or one with the fuzz?
I have no idea. Anything to see
Yeah, go. One, 2, 3, 4. Cody, talking to your microphone.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Do it again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
In a water tower town, everybody waits.
Are you ready? Let's dust it. Let's dust it.
Open on Sundays.
What is that?
Travels fast.
Hey, where'd you put the schedule?
Wheels turn slow. Yeah, working hard and living right is the
Ready to,
only life we know. 99 footballers can't.
Good evening and welcome to Bobby Holcomb Field. I'm Sudhu Upadhyay and I'm joined alongside by the Charger staff writer Cody Thompson tonight as the 10-1 Oxford Chargers take on the 6-5 Provine Rams in the first round of the 2012 5A playoffs. Cody, the Chargers are coming off of a close 14-11 win against the Clarksdale Wildcats and are just itching to get back to playing their up-tempo offense, which has slowed down a bit over the past 2 or 3 games.
Oh, they certainly have. They had a tough loss to West Point, really a heartbreaking loss for this Oxford team, winning their chance at an undefeated season. And then last week against Clarksdale, they really struggled. Clarksdale just came out and played hard and played scrappy, and they really gave the Chargers some trouble.
Definitely, and unlike the Chargers, the Rams are just lucky to be in the playoffs. They were involved in a 5-way tie within Division II 5A. They luckily came out of it with a 3 seed and are here to take on the Chargers, Cody.
And a lot of people have really underrated them, and they're coming to play with a chip on their shoulder. They know that a lot of people just aren't, really having them on their radar. They're coming in to try to play hard and try to prove that they belong here.
Now here's the starting lineup for the Oxford Chargers offense. On the offensive line, look out for center Clifton Smith. He's the anchor on that O-line. Also that right guard position, which for the second straight week is starting 8th grader Colton Skidmore, who's taken the spot for junior Christian Sanchez. That might change throughout the game depending on the result. Now the running back spot features an explosive Jarius Barnes, but the Chargers also have the big bruiser in Colin Lee and 2 smaller backs in Cortland Barnes and Deion Coleman. At the receiver spot, look out for Nick Brown. Brown has been one of the most consistent out of the bunch and is the speediest one out there. I would also look out for Joey Walton and Glenn Gordon. Walton's just one of those guys that makes plays when it matters the most, and Gordon is like Brown in that you do not want to leave him open and open field with a lot of space. Now the Chargers will be missing senior Toller Presley tonight. Presley fractured his finger on a freak accident warming up against Clarksdale, and his days as a Charger receiver seem to be over. Kyrie White, number 19, will probably see some field on that spot. Also look out for Andrell Turner, who's a senior, to step up on that spot. Now for the defensive side of the ball for the Chargers, I would look out for Xavier Pegues. He has been a monster this year at that defensive end spot. His backup, Robert Ferris, who has seen the field a lot, is out tonight with back problems, and I would also watch out for Joel Forster at that nose guard spot, along with Darius Liggins on the other end. Now for the linebackers, I would look out for Mike McGee. He's been an instrumental part of this defense this year. Of course, Juan Edwards, who's filling in for Jarquise Adams, who's out with an injury. Definitely a place to watch, or spot to watch there. And in the secondary, look out for DK Metcalf, who's taking over for an injured Conry Marr, and he should have a good game. Now for Provine, some key players. Offensively, quarterback DeJuan Ellis. He's got 9 passing and 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. But the 2 playmakers for the Rams are definitely running backs, number 7 Frank Jenkins and Robert Lee. Jenkins has 15 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards on the season. Lee is 8 and average over 5 yards per carry on the year. Now at the receiver position, I'd look out for number 24 Joshua Bates. He's got 4 receiving touchdowns on the year. Also look out for Eric Barber and tight end Victor Payton. Defensive side for Provine, number 24 Bates also plays defensive back. Look out for him. And then linebackers Jonathan Taylor, Corey Jones, Joshua Allen, and the defensive ends Louis Sessoms and Sequintez Mitchell. So those are definitely some positions to look out for Oxford and Provine. Cody, let's get back to talking about the Chargers offense, because early on in the year, you saw that offense catch fire and really explode. Nick Brown had a lot of touches during the game. Glenn Gordon, they were spreading the ball over. They had a nice complementary back with Jarius Barnes. Parker Adamson, he's had some trouble in that offense, in that he has to throw the ball a lot of the time, so his stats may not show the quality of quarterback he really is.
Oh, yeah, the 10-1 Chargers, really, they started off explosively. Really, they've lost some of that explosiveness in the last couple of weeks. They haven't had the number of big plays they had early in the season, but tonight they're going to try to get those back, and really that could be a deciding factor in the game.
And, defense this year. Defense has been key. Yes, offense has done their job for sure, but defense has been the reason that the Chargers have blanked out, a lot of teams, or even kept some teams to a very low score this season. And talk a little bit about Xavier Piggies.
Oh, Piggies has just been great on the defensive line. He's a converted tight end, but really teams have been double-teaming him. They're going to double-team him tonight as well, and they've been trying to keep him off. They run away from him, and he's a great prospect. He's being recruited by a couple of schools right now, and Ole Miss coach, the co-offensive coordinator, Matt Luke, came to visit him about 2 weeks ago to talk about playing tight end for Ole Miss next year.
And he's been a monster, and you're right, he played a lot of tight end last year. Of course, this offense doesn't really allow for a tight end to be utilized, but, Piggies will definitely be an explosive player. Also, Darius Liggins. He's tall, he's big, and he's fast.
Oh, yeah, he's played great this year, getting off blocks and really making some stops in the backfield, and just been a great part of this Chargers defensive line, which has at times dominated the offense.
Now, special teams. We cannot not talk about special teams for the Chargers. You've got Cody Mills, who's done a fair job. Of course, he's had a few extra point misses, some field goal misses here and there, but when it really counts, he's done his job.
He's had some trouble, but he's been overall pretty good for the season. He's hit some great field goals, and he's also done the punting and kickoff duties, and he's only a junior, and really for got to be doing that good this young, that just shows a great sign for the future of the Chargers.
Absolutely. Tonight's game is brought to you by University Sporting Goods. University Sporting Goods was established in 1966 on the Oxford Square. They carry Ole Miss apparel, souvenirs, housewares, tailgating supplies, and infant apparel. They're also well stocked with sports equipment, athletic apparel, and footwear. Sporting Goods is North Mississippi's largest screen printer, and they provide custom designs for apparel, cups, and koozies. Also, custom monogramming is available for hats, bags, polos, towels, and much more. So stop by University Sporting Goods on the Oxford Square and let them know the staff of Charger Online sent you. That'll bode you well. Also, this game is made possible by contributions from FNC and, of course, the University of Mississippi's Documentary and Media Department's project department. And also we'd like to give a shout out to Officer Harper Thomas for the second game this season. He's helped us get back into the Oxford High School to, pick up some equipment that we didn't do that great of a job of getting. So thank you, Officer Thomas, for that. Stay tuned on the Charger Online, and we'll be right with you as the game starts.
Captains for tonight's game, first for the visiting Provine Rams, number 2, Tevin Carter, number 5, DeJuan Ellis, number 24, Joshua Bates, and number 51, Jonathan Taylor. Captains for your Oxford Chargers, senior number 3, Parker Adamson, senior number 18, Nick Brown, senior number 23, J.P. Brascato, and senior number 83, Andrell Turner. Provine won the toss. and deferred to the second half. Oxford will receive the football to begin the game. Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet. It's playoff time in O-Town.
Here come your Oxford Chargers, ready to go in all blue, Cody, and an explosive environment, I guess, for the Oxford side tonight. You've got a lot of parents here, a lot of fans here, so just a good environment. Now, on the Provine side, there's not really a lot of fans, but I do know that we have some Provine fans watching from the Jackson area, so we'd like to welcome you all into our production, and best of luck for the both sides, I guess.
At this time, we ask that you please rise and remain standing for the marching on of the colors, a moment of quiet reflection, and the playing of the national anthem. The color guard tonight is under the direction of Cadet Staff Sergeant Dylan Bennett, Cadet Sergeant Jalen Phillips, Cadet First Lieutenant Brianna Henry, and Cadet Staff Sergeant Mandy Holland. The flag detail tonight is under the direction of Cadet Second Lieutenant Michael Scott, Cadet Staff Sergeant Zachary Hatcher, and Cadet Sergeant Marquisha Davis. At this time, please join us in a moment of quiet reflection prior to the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Tonight's national anthem is being performed by the Oxford High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Mr. John Nixon, Jared Brownlee, Miss Marsha Morgan.
There you go, Cody. The national anthem has been played, and both the teams are now back in huddles to get this thing started. What are some things that you're looking for out of the Chargers tonight? Let's go with offense first.
Well, I'm looking to them to try to get the ball to the wide receivers a lot and let them work in space, get them just room to work with so they can possibly break off a long run, and also just to stay committed to the run if the pass isn't working and really keep them two-dimensional.
How about the defense?
The defense, I think they're going to try to stop the run right off. They're definitely a run-heavy team, no question about it. So they're going to try to stop the run with everything they've got.
Well, definitely number 7, Frank Jenkins, for them is just a heavy back. He's got, like we mentioned in the pregame, 1,000 yards on the season. He accounted for the most amount of touchdowns on the team with 15. So Provine's really a heavy run team, I guess. And they run a lot of those halfback smashes, tackles on the weak side, stuff like that. So I guess the Chargers can figure it out. And if the defense gets into it and plays like they've been playing throughout the season, this could be a pretty quick game for the Chargers. Cody, the Chargers will be getting ball first today. They've got Cortland Barnes back there.
Set to kick off for
of course, Andrell Turner as well. Turner actually had a return for a touchdown against Clarksdale last week. Got called back due to a clipping call. So we'll see what Turner can do tonight.
Number 21, Cortland Barnes.
And here we go. It's going to be picked up. And a decent return there, Cody.
Barnes, the return for the Chargers.
There's been a couple injuries to this Charger team coming into the game. Connery Marr, who's the starting safety, who's also seen time on offense, has a stress fracture in his knee, but they say he should be back around next week for the game, so that's what they're hoping for. Toller Presley, as we said before, broke his finger, so he'll be out for the season. Jarquise Adams, the starting linebacker, is an ear infection, so he will not be playing. And Robert Ferris is still battling his lower back issues from earlier, so he will not be playing as well.
All right, and some heavy losses, but I'm sure the Chargers can make up for that. Adamson this time in a shotgun. Ready to lead the offense. He's changing things up there at the line of scrimmage. It looks like someone might have moved early there, Cody.
I think about 3 or 4 moved. Looks like the hard count got the Oxford side that time, so we moved back a little bit.
Not a great way to start out the first game of the playoffs, but Chargers have had shaky starts this season. If you think about the first game of the season and then you think about the game against Charleston, just really low scoring first halves, but then they've picked up when that offense has caught fire, like we've mentioned in the past. So it's not anything different to see that. Adamson takes a snap. He's looking to fire the ball, pressure getting to him, and it's
Adamson's pass
incomplete.
For number 4, KT McCollin.
And he was looking for KT McCollins. McCollins is another receiver. He also plays rover, but when he's not playing that position on defense, he's going to see some offense, and he'll probably see that more today. Like we've mentioned, Toll Presley's out, so definitely they're probably going to utilize him there. Adamson takes a snap. He's looking to fire the ball, and he's going down the field, and it's going to be dropped by Glenn Gordon right in his hands, and he drops it, Cody, and that's just unfortunate.
And that's one of the plays we said that the Chargers would try to focus on today. Glenn Gordon on the streak route was wide open, just couldn't haul in the pass there, and that could hurt the Chargers.
Gordon has had problems with that, but when he can fix that, he's a very explosive player. Like we've mentioned, you don't want to give him space. Same with Nick Brown. Adamson getting a call from the sideline. They have not run the ball. He's been in that shotgun since first down. Of course, a 3rd and 15 for the Chargers here. Now he takes a snap. Adamson's looking to fire the ball. And he's looking, and it's complete to Joey Walden. And looks like Walden got the first down there, Cody. He was another one of our key players tonight.
Oh, yeah, Walden just ran a great hook route there. The cornerback actually slipped up a little bit, so he was able to get the pass and get the first down. Great first completion there.
Ball is spotted at the
about 11:29 in the first quarter. Chargers for the first down. They do convert. Adamson right back in that shotgun. He's going to take the snap. He's going to throw it back to Walden. Walden's on the sidelines. And he's going to look to break some tackles, but he gets pushed out of bounds. Nonetheless, another first down and just a great gain for the Chargers.
That was a curl route there by Walden, and then he just was able to get to the second level there. Great job taking the short pass for a nice gain.
There you go, and he's really proved himself right now. I mean, Walden's come a long way. He was a very undersized player coming into high school, and he just really worked his butt off in the summer and the spring, and he's really done a good job for the Chargers. And I don't think the Chargers want to run the ball today, Cody. Adams is back in the shotgun. He's got two backs, and there you go. And he gives it to Glenn Gordon. Gordon's going to try to bounce off to the right side. Doesn't get too much on that one.
Great job there by Provine to seal off the edge and not give him an option to cut it outside. That was a great defensive stand.
You know, I've talked to Gordon throughout the week, and his goal was to be back to where he was last season and early on this season. Of course, Gordon had a great debut against West Point last season, and he wants to break those big runs, catch those long passes down the field. So let's see if he can do that tonight. Adamson's back out there with no backs this time. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to take it up the middle himself. Adamson's going to take it a little bit past the 30-yard line.
Adamson on the keeper.
That was a great call there by Oxford just to do a quarterback draw there with Adamson. Caught the defense off guard and got him close to a first down.
And he got to, looks like, about the 33-yard line.
Third down and 1 yard to go for Oxford.
Now it's going to be a 3rd and 1. Excuse me, at the 27. And Adamson's going to hand the ball off. And it's going to be Cortland Barnes, and he shakes a man, and he's still on his feet. And he's going to be brought down right before he reaches a goal line, Cody. And just a good gain by Cortland Barnes.
All right, was another one of the speedy backs that Oxford has. Had a great hold by the offensive line. Was able to get to the second level. Great carry there by Cortland Barnes.
And you know our 12th man of the game, Joe Sabatier, who's the equipment manager, actually changed his spikes right before the game. So it looks like he's got more traction. He can dig and juke a little bit more. This time in an I formation, Adamson's going to hand the ball off. I don't think Glenn Gordon got in there. Let's get the call.
And they're calling it down at the... Well, they're moving the spot of the ball. It looks like it's going to be at the 1 yard line.
1 yard line. Second down and goal, Oxford.
They're going to check Gordon out of the game. 9:38. Approaching 9:35 in the first quarter. Adamson. He's going to pitch it out to Barnes. Barnes cuts it. Is he in? Touchdown, Oxford. And Cortland Barnes is in for the end zone, into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Chargers are up 6-0 here with 9:28 in the first quarter.
The Chargers went to a sweep, a sweep to Barnes that time, but he cut it in and just went for the touchdown. A great job by him to cut that in and dive for the touchdown. Good block by Colin Lee at the fullback position.
And there are two Barnes on the team. Of course, Jarius Barnes, the starter. Jarius Barnes actually might be resting. They rested him against Clarksdale, so he might be resting. Maybe see limited action tonight. But Cortland Barnes, the kind of the smaller running back, he might see more time tonight, just as we've seen. And Cody Mills' point after attempt is good as well, and the Chargers lead. 9:28 left in the first quarter, 7-0.
Nothing. And your Oxford Chargers 7.
And this Provine team, they come in at 6-5, but really they've lost a lot of close games and just played a lot of close games this season. So really they're a little better than their rankings suggest. They've hung in games. They're going to obviously try to hang in here as the Chargers got to an early lead.
Definitely, like I said in the pregame, they've got to play with a chip on their shoulder. They want to prove to people that they deserve to be in the playoffs. Many people say that those are the most dangerous teams as you head into postseason, with teams that want to have something to prove. And for the Chargers, they've improved a lot this season. I think the Chargers right now just want to get to Starkville next week, and, depending on whether Starkville wins tonight or not. And then beating Starkville, and if everything falls out in their favor, they want to get back to West Point, beat West Point, and get over that hump.
They definitely want to get revenge against West Point, who's just been a tough matchup for them every year.
Cody Mills back to kick the ball off. Mills has had a high percentage of touchbacks this year. And there's his kick. It's going to take a few bounces. It does not reach the end zone. And it looks like Provine's going to get a great return on that one. Knocked out of bounds, looks like around the 40-yard line.
Really, he just had a great hold by his blockers there. Oxford kind of over-pursued, didn't have many people backing up that first line of guys. He was able to get good yards there on the return.
We'll get to see the Provine Rams come
First
out.
down and 10, Provine.
Of course, their quarterback, DeJuan Ellis, is out there. Ellis takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off, and the Chargers are going to get that one right as he hands the ball off. That was, of course, to Frank Jenkins, the leader on that offense for Provine.
He's a really speedy back, and he has a low center of gravity, so he is deceptively powerful for someone his size, and just a good speedy back. He's been a focal point of this offense.
Not only is he speedy, Cody, but he can lower his shoulder as well.
Oh yeah, he can definitely pack a punch.
Let's see what Provine's going to do on this one. They don't really throw the ball as much, Cody, like we mentioned before. It's heavy run base, so we'll see how the Chargers handle that. And he's back under the center, and he's going to play action. Ellis going down the field, and it's going to be caught, and that's a catch, Cody. Wow, that's surprising. He juggled it a bit.
That was an excellent catch there by Joshua Bates. KT McCollins was really playing good defense on him, but he hauled it in regardless of the defensive contact. That was just a great job by Joshua Bates to haul that one in.
And Bates, actually also plays defensive back on the team, so he knows the techniques that the DBs are using against him, and that does help him out at times. That's going to be a 1st and 10 for Provine at the 42-yard line. We are approaching 8:15 in the first quarter. Ellis takes a snap. He's going to play action, rolls out to his right, pressure getting to him, and it's going to be incomplete. It looks like he was throwing that to his tight end.
Looks like Provine just wants to come out and pass, of course, because they are known as a run team. They're trying to catch the team off guard. Really, against West Point was successful in catching Oxford off guard with through a long touchdown pass the very first play of the game. So it looks like they're kind of trying to recreate some of that and try to get a passing game going.
Well, the Chargers are probably looking for that. They know that where teams try to exploit them, and defensive coordinator Steve Herring just does a great job of creating scenarios throughout the week to make sure his defense is ready. Ellis's time, I formation. He's going to hand the ball off. Not too much of a gain there.
And there's some of that power there we talked about with Jenkins. I mean, he got hit 3 yards back from where he finished. He was able to push the pile for some good yardage there.
Approaching about 7:50 into the first quarter. Of course, the Chargers still lead 7-0.
For the Rams.
The Rams have just been moving the ball slowly down the field. See how it goes on this 3rd and 8. Ellis under center. He's going to roll out to the right, and he's going to throw the ball. And that's going to be a catch, Cody. First down, Provine.
Another good catch by Bates there. Just a great job coming back to the ball and getting low to prevent it from being incomplete on the ground. That was a great job there by Bates.
Ellis, like you've mentioned, isn't really known for throwing the ball. He likes to run the ball a lot, but, Provine is trying to try something new, and so far it's worked. They're moving down the field.
And they're doing a lot of rollout passes, really just to get him some more time and to give him the option to run if he needs to.
Ellis, he's going to hand the ball off, and looks like Jenkins won't get too much on that one.
Number 7, Jenkins, the ball carrier for the Rams. Tackled by number 61, Joel Forrester. Also on the play, number 44, Xavier Pegues.
That's going to be a 2nd and 10
5 yards
for the Provine Rams.
Second down and 5 yards to
Excuse
go.
me, 2nd and 5 for Provine. Ellis under center. He's going to hand the ball off back to Jenkins, and Jenkins is bouncing on the outside.
It was a great job there by Jenkins to shake some tackles in the backfield and get to the outside. And he will pick up the first down.
And Provine's moving the ball down the field easily. Cody, like we've mentioned, the defense is hurting. Of course, you've got freshman DK Metcalf playing for Connery Moore. Of course, this is a big loss. It's Jarquise Adams, the weak side linebacker, or the will linebacker, is not in there. Juan Edwards is in there. Juan has played, but he hasn't seen the field as much. Of course, it's Jarquise. This time Ellis back under center. He's going to hand it back off to Jenkins. And the Chargers are going to make sure he goes nowhere on that one.
Great tackle there by Xavier Piggies. The defensive line was in the backfield from the start. And a great job by Piggies to get down and run him down. That was a great play.
And he'll be a big factor in the game tonight. Robert Ferris out. Usually they'll move around. They'll put Piggies on the field at the same time as Ferris. Piggies might be at Ted. They'll put Ferris at DN, but not having Ferris, who's a great pass rusher, is really going to hurt the Chargers. But we'll see throughout the course of the night how that works out. And Ellis, he's been under center for most of the night. He's looking to throw the ball, and it's going to be picked off by the Chargers. That's going to be intercepted. I want to say that's KT McCollins. And McCollins has been a force on that defense. There's no question about that. The Saltillo game, he did a really good job last week against Clarksdale, and even games before that, he's come into play when he's needed to, and that's all you can really ask for out of a defensive player.
Yeah, that was just a great job covering the fade route there. They tried to get the fade route and get the jump ball to the wide receiver, but he just did a great job covering that. It's one of the hardest routes for a defensive back to cover, and he excelled in that coverage. It's a great interception there. The Chargers will start at the 20.
And when we saw Steve Herring earlier, the defensive coordinator, he wasn't really smiling because he learned Jarquise Adams would not be playing, but I'm sure he's up there right now, and above us, watching his defensive back and really smiling. And Adamson is going to hand the ball off to Gordon. Looks like that was a read option play, but Provine read that one beautifully.
And that was just a great job there by sophomore Aaron Jones, who plays D-tackle on the line, and just a great job blowing through the backfield there. He was there before the Chargers could even get their play in, so just a great job there by Aaron Jones.
And Adamson was trying to read the play and kind of delayed the handoff, and like you said, they just did a great job of penetrating that offensive line. This time they've got the big guy Lee in there as well. In an I formation, of course, Cortland Barnes is in there. Adamson under center. Adamson takes a snap. He's going to play action. He's looking to fire the ball, and he's got it back to Joey Walden, who's on the right sideline. And Joey Walden has just done what he's supposed to do tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's just done a great job running short routes and coming back to the ball and really just finding the soft spots in the defense to make those completions. And then he's done great at getting yards after the catch.
Adamson really has had total presence throughout the season of being kind of a bailout receiver whenever his speedy guys, who are sort of, kind of short, four receivers, have been covered well. He's used Presley, and it looks like Walden might step up for that role. This time Adamson's going to hand it out to Nick Brown, who's trying to bounce out on the right side, and he's not going to get much. He might have even lost a couple there.
I tried a little reverse to Brown there. That's something you'll see with this offense, like to get their wide receivers just running before the play, before they give them the handoff, just so they can have their speed to get to the outside.
That's going to be a 2nd and 12. The Chargers ball on the 35-yard line. We're approaching 3:50 here in the first quarter. Adamson this time, shotgun. He's looking to fire the ball, and he's going deep down the field, and he's going to overthrow. Looks like that might have been Glenn. That was actually Andrell Turner. You're right.
Adamson's pass incomplete on the play.
And there just went deep, and he had a step on the safety, but just a little too far, and they couldn't make the connection.
And Turner's going to learn to, be on the same page with Adamson. He hasn't seen the field as much at the receiver spot, but that was just overthrown. Really, Turner couldn't have done much on that one
just
anyway.
Barely overthrown, very close.
Adamson in a shotgun again. He's got Barnes in the backfield. And he's getting the calls from the sideline. Adamson takes a snap. And the pressure's getting to Adamson. He's just going to dump the ball off to Cortland Barnes. And Barnes is still going. And he's going to be brought down at about midfield.
That was a great screen pass there just to get Barnes in the open field. But that was a great hit there by Joshua Allen, the sophomore inside linebacker. But just a great job there with the screen pass. Great job of the lineman blocking in front of him. And then a great hit at the end of the play.
39-yard line. First down, Chargers.
The Chargers are kicking on all cylinders on offense right now. Adamson this time. Shotgun. And he hands the ball off to Barnes, but the play is blown dead.
Penalty flag on the play.
Pre-snap penalty. It looks like it might be a false start against Oxford. And it will be a false start on the Chargers.
False start against the Chargers. Penalty is 5 yards. First down
That's
and
going to
15
push him back
to go
5 yards.
for
That's going to be a
Oxford.
1st and 15 for Oxford now. 3:24 in the first quarter. They're trying to run that hurry up, Cody, but
Obviously, penalties can kill that.
Adamson takes a snap. He's got all day in the pocket. He's going to fire it out, and it's going to be incomplete. Just another dropped ball. Looks like that was intended for KT McCollins.
You know, and KT obviously is not going to be as experienced at wide receiver as some of these other guys because he plays defensive back.
So that's already 2 drop balls by the Chargers tonight. You do not want to make that a habit in this offense. Adamson in a shotgun. Takes a snap, play action. He's going to fire the ball out, and let's see if Joey Walden got both feet in. And they say he did.
Joey Walden.
That was a great job there, just tight-roping the sideline there. It was just a great job to get his feet in there, and that's another good gain for this Charger team.
And Joey Walden was quickly getting more and more receptions tonight, Cody. You know,
Third down.
playoffs are
and
just
4
where
yards to
great
go
players
for the
kind of
Chargers.
come out, and you know, guys that have not been shown as much during the regular season. And this time, Adamson's going to throw the ball.
And Nick Brown there on the reception for the first down.
18, Nick Brown.
And Brown has been probably the most consistent receiver out
To
of
the
this bunch every
40-yard
week.
line.
Oh, he's definitely just played great, been a great game breaker with his long receptions. And right now, Joey Walden is really being Adamson's consistent target. He's taken up for a lot of the space that they lost with Toller Presley. He's really stepped up into that role.
Of course, we got no official report on Jarius Barnes. We know that he is on the sidelines, but he has not been out there on the field yet. They might be trying to rest him throughout this entire game. I believe they feel comfortable with the running backs they
4th
have.
down and inches for the Chargers.
And that's going to be a 4th and inches for Oxford. Let's see what they go with here.
Looks like they're sending in Colin Lee at fullback, so he could be in there just for blocking or for a power handoff.
Lee is definitely that power back for the Chargers. You know, I've seen plays with Lee, and I know you have as well, where he's just run over anybody in his way. 2 or 3 times it's been a referee. Colin Lee's just a force, and he likes to hit people, and I know that on offense that's not really the case a lot of the times, but with his build and his size, I think that definitely makes sense. So Adamson this time with Barnes and Lee under center, and he's going to take it up himself, and Cody looks like he got it.
Just a quick quarterback sneak there to get the first down. Just a pretty common play on 4th and inches.
And that's the advantage of having a quarterback with Adamson's size and his build. And, you know, his height, definitely. He has longer arms, and he can definitely stretch that arm out to get the first down. So they're going to line right back up in that hurry-up offense. Adamson takes a snap, and he hands it off to Barnes, and Barnes is on the outside. He's at the 20. And he's going to be brought down.
Number 21, Cortland Barnes.
Barnes was almost taken down there in the backfield. Did a great job breaking that first tackle. And once he did, he just had Green in front of him, able to pick up a great gain and a first down.
So with about 2:19 left in the first quarter, the Oxford Chargers first down, ball at the 22-yard line. Adamson takes a snap. He hands the ball off to Lee, and Lee is taking everybody with him.
And there's some of that power that we've talked about. Once he gets ahead of steam, he is hard to bring down there. He was hit just right when he got the carry, hitting the leg, but he just kept going, kept turning his legs, and picked up a good 6-yard gain there.
4 yards to go for
That's going to be a 2nd and 3 for the Chargers at the 15-yard line. Great run by Lee. And Adamson takes a snap. He's going to throw a fade out, and it's going to be incomplete. That was attempted for KT McCollins.
Adamson's pass, incomplete on the play.
Just great coverage by Provine.
That was a great pass by Adamson, but the cornerback covered that extremely well. It's a very tough catch. He's obviously got to go up and try to get the ball, and really just didn't connect that time, but good defense there.
So the Chargers now face a 3rd and 3 with about 1:35 left in the first quarter. Of course, they do lead 7-0. Adamson, no backs. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to take it up himself. Adamson's still on his feet, and he gets the first down there, Cody.
It's called a quarterback power there, and he bobbled the snap for a second. Looked like it could have been a disastrous play for Oxford, but then he took it up the middle, was able to get a great gain there.
And I think, in the past weeks they haven't run him as much. I guess they wanted to keep him healthy for the playoffs, but that's one option the Chargers do have, is to run Adamson. This time he's under center. He's going to hand it off to Barnes. And they're going to stop Barnes before he can reach the goal line.
Number 21, Barnes. The ball
good job there by Provine's defensive line to just collapse on the offensive line and stop him from getting anywhere. That was a good solid play by Provine.
It's going to be a 2nd and goal for Oxford. Looks like Colin Lee is checking out of the game. And it's just Adamson, shotgun. Barnes in the backfield. Adamson takes a snap. He's going to take it up himself. And right before he can cross the goal line, they made a final surge and stopped him.
Tackle by number 51, Taylor for the Rams. Gain is to the 3-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go for the Chargers.
That's going to be a 3rd and goal for Oxford.
And that was a good tackle there by Jonathan Taylor, the senior linebacker, to stop Adamson from picking up a touchdown.
Adams takes a snap. He's going to throw a fade, and it's going to be incomplete, in and out of the hands of KT McCollins. He might have just run out of real estate, even if he would have caught that, Cody.
Yeah, and normally that's a pass that they'd throw to Toller Presley because of his size. McCollins is really the 2nd tallest wide receiver they have without Presley. So they were trying to get it to him, and just good coverage once again. It was a tough pass to bring in. It was a good pass, but just fade routes can be really tough to bring in, and he wasn't able to make the connection.
Cody Mills for a 20-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is good, so the Chargers take a 10-0 lead here at Bobby Holcomb Field. 9 seconds left in the first quarter. And Cody, that drive, we'd like to get away with a touchdown, but having Mills kick in that 3 is better than nothing.
Oh, it's definitely still a good step for Oxford, but obviously you can tell on that line, on that drive, they are missing Toller Presley as their big, tall wide receiver they try to get the ball to in those situations. But it looks like they'll just have to try to come out on defense and make a stop.
Presley, I know that I talked to him earlier this week. He wasn't extremely sad. I guess he had faced the reality of not playing again, but there was a somber feeling to him.
Number 29, Cody Mills, set to kick off for the Chargers. Back deep for the Rams, number 8, Malcolm Thomas, and number 16, Rashad Aldridge.
Cody Mills now to kick the ball off to Provine. As I was saying, Cody, before, but we had a mic problem. Toller Presley had this kind of somber feeling to him this week. He'd accepted that he probably wasn't going to play receiver again. He might be able to come back if the Chargers move on to the playoffs and play some special teams. And Mills is going to boot this one deep, and it's going to go in the end zone for a touchback. But continuing on about Toller, somber mood.
Travels into the end zone.
He hasn't had, his time here hasn't been as he's expected. But he's been sort of a running back type receiver. And that, I mean, when the running back isn't effective, Parker Adamson's been able to throw him the short passes to gain, the short runs maybe the running back would have done. And I talked to Toller about that, and he's really going to miss this.
I mean, definitely. Just high school football is a great part for a student. It's a great part of being a student, and definitely miss this as he goes forward.
So Ellis under center for Provine, and he's going to hand the ball off, and looks like that's Jenkins. And looks like he might have gotten the first down there.
And that's some of the speed we've talked about with Jenkins. Once he gets past that initial defensive line, he can really just get to the second level with his speed.
Gain is to the 31-yard line.
Jenkins definitely has been as effective against Oxford as he's been out throughout the season. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The Oxford Chargers lead the Provine Rams 10-0. just, a very,
After one, the
slow
Provine
first
Rams
quarter in
0,
terms
your
of
Oxford
it hasn't
Chargers
been
10.
an explosive game. Each team has moved the ball slowly. Of course, Provine got to their
Some
goal
scores
line,
from
but
around
then
the
they threw
Mississippi
the
High School
interception,
Activities Association in the
KT
playoffs
Collins
tonight.
got for Oxford. And Oxford's moved the ball up the field as
Starkville
well.
7,
They're
South
missing
Pillow
Cole Presley.
0.
We know that for sure. But
West
on that
Point
drive,
7,
on the last drive, they got 3
0.
points, and the one before that, they got 7. So, a pretty
Knox City
effective
8,
game for the Chargers so far.
Lafayette 0. New Albany 7, Louisville 7. Well, we have a moment we'd like to recognize the 2012-13 Oxford High School cheerleaders under the direction of Miss Nicole Robertson, Ann Kiefer Carson, Madison Cobb, Mary Shields-Craft, Cheyenne Griffin, Anna Lauren Hale, Rachel Catherine Hardnett, Allie Hayward, Hayden Hudson, Lizzie Kelly, Julie Lorenzo, Anna McGee, Megan Kennedy, Chanel Norflet, Brooke Riley, Sally Rishlack, Mary Madison Tyler, and Eloise Tyner, the mascot.
And Ellis,
A big round of applause
start
for
off the second quarter, is going to hand the ball off to Jenkins.
Good stop there by Mike McGee. Just laid a nice hit and was able to
Number
push the
7, Jenkins,
ball
the
carrier
for
backward.
the Rams.
And
Stop by number
McGee
10,
is
Mike McGee.
the other linebacker that usually lines up beside Jarquise Adams. And
Gain of
McGee's going
4
to kind of
yards.
take the heavy load tonight as Juan
Second
Edwards
down
going to
and
be
6 to
readjusting
go
to
for the
that role.
Rams.
I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Got a problem coming down.
And that's going to be a 2nd and 6 for Provine. The second quarter. Ellis. He's going to hand the ball off, and the Chargers defense is going to get that one right away. Looks like
Number
Juan
7,
Edwards was
Jenkins,
involved in
the
that
ball
one.
carrier
That was a
for the
great
Rams.
stop there. Defensive lineman as well as the linebacker were both back in the backfield, and they just tossed the back down. Great job there. Penetrating by the Oxford defense.
The Oxford defense does that. You're not always going to get one guy to be the workhorse on defense. It's always game tackles, 2 or 3 guys sharing sacks. That's how that defense works. So a 3rd and 6 at the 34-yard line for Provine. Ellis under center. He's going to roll out to the right side. And that's going to be caught. And a first down for Provine, Cody. Pretty good pass.
Yeah, oh yeah, just another rollout there, and that was a great catch there by Eric Barber. And he actually, 6'4" senior, so he's got great size, but he plays a lot of positions for this Provine team. He's a backup quarterback, as well as he plays wide receiver and free safety. So he's a pretty versatile player, and that was just a great grab there on the outside.
And Provine's got a lot of guys that go both ways that are talented, so you're not facing a scrub team by any means when you face Provine. So this time in an I formation, Ellis under center. He's going to hand the ball off. And again, the Chargers are going to stop him.
It was a good job there not letting Jenkins get started. Xavier Piggies was in there on the tackle. And just, really, they got to try to stop Jenkins from getting, just his speed up and getting ahead of steam, because that's when he can really be dangerous.
And I think, on the first downs and second downs, when they know it's going to be a running situation for Provine, the Chargers have been effective with defense. They have kind of caught Oxford off guard with those short passes, little screens that they've thrown. They picked up, not really chunks of yards, but enough yards to move the ball down the field. Ellis under center again. He's going to send a man in motion. He's going to take the snap, hand the ball off, and John Adams got back there, and that's going to be a fumble. It actually will not be a fumble.
Ellis's pass is
It was deflected there at the line. Looks like there is a flag at the end of the play, though.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
And John Adams got back there quickly. He was fooled by Ellis's play-action fake. And he ended up throwing the ball, and it was incomplete. And the call is against Provine.
Receiver downfield against Provine.
That was an ineligible wide receiver call, and that means that a lineman went too far past the line of scrimmage. They're supposed to keep within 5 yards of it, and so they just went too far. That could also be if a lineman touches the ball before it has been touched by a defender or another offensive player.
And, if a lineman sometimes doesn't check in with the referee, that call can be implied as well. So Provine facing a 3rd and 8 situation here. Ball at the 50-yard line. Second quarter. 9:40. There seems to be a holdup on the field. Looks like they didn't place the ball in the right position.
Penalty flag is waved off.
And they're going to actually take away that penalty. They're going to say the ball was tipped.
Yeah, that's like just what I was saying. The ball has to be touched by a defender or another player on the offense before a lineman can touch it. So there, it was tipped at the line, so it was not illegal touching by the lineman.
Provine got away with that one, luckily. Ellis, this time the pressure getting to him, and he's going to complete his pass.
Ellis's pass is incomplete on the
That definitely was not enough. That was actually incomplete. Looked like it was a pass,
down
but
and 8 yards to go.
So a 4th and 8 situation for Provine.
And they tried to get the screen up there to the wide receiver, but a good job by the Chargers defense to swarm to the ball, where the ball was going. Looks like there is a player down for Oxford. Looks like it is Mike McGee, and he's holding his leg, so the trainers will come to see how he's doing.
That's not good news for Oxford at all. Their other starting linebackers, Jarquise Adams being out, and if anything happens to McGee, then they're going to be sort of thin on that linebacker spot.
I mean, that also means they will have to put in another quarterback at backup QB, as McGee is also the backup quarterback for this team.
And we hope it's not too bad for McGee. And he's right back up, Cody. It might just be a cramp.
That could definitely be it. Just in a lot of games, you got to stay hydrated and really just try not to get a cramp, of course. I mean, just the way he's walking, it does look like it is a cramp, and he'll be fine. He got up pretty fast, so it looks like he'll just have to recuperate on the sideline for a second.
Number 10, Cameron Bolton, back deep to punt. Back deep to receive.
Provine.
Number 4, McCullen, and number 83.
Ready to punt it to Oxford. KT McCollins back to receive it. As well as Andrell Turner. And they're just going to let that one go, Cody. And might have been a smart move to avoid maybe muffing the punt, but that's not going to give Oxford great field position at all.
Good punt there, just a line drive kick that really just prevented a long return and just kept them, it's going to keep them inside the 20, so that's a good punt. And their punter has an old school routine there. Just takes 2 steps and kicks it. You'll see a lot of pro and college kickers now with a full, like a full windup, almost like a couple of steps for the kick, but he's just doing old school there, and it worked effectively that time.
Definitely, that rugby punt style is used effectively. So Adamson back out there. He's got Colin Lee and Cortland Barnes. Adamson's going to take the snap. He's going to play action. Actually, he hands it off to Nick Brown out the backfield. And they're going to get that one right away. If maybe one more defender wouldn't have been there, Nick Brown could have broke that one out.
Really, it looked like it was going to be a great play call from the start. They faked the handoff inside, then kicked it out to Brown, and really he almost was able to get to the edge, but a great tackle there by Provine.
You don't see that a lot, Brown being caught by defenders in space. So definitely something to be proud of for Provine. So 2nd and 8 situation for Oxford. Adamson's going to fire this one out, and it's going to be caught, but Provine's right on that one. Not a big gain at all for Oxford.
It was a great hit there. It's a little short route there, and Provine was all over it. Great job swarming to the ball and laying a hit on the ball carrier.
Gain of 3 yards on the play. 3rd down and 4 to go.
3rd and 4 situation for Oxford. Ball at their own 16-yard line. We're approaching 8:28 here in the second quarter. Adamson in a shotgun. And he throws it out to Nick Brown. Brown trying to dance, but he's not going to get much at all. Looks like Oxford's going to have to punt the ball.
Knocked off his feet by number 8, Malcolm.
There was a good job by Brown, really, to get in the yards. They tried a wide receiver screen. It looks like actually he will get the first down. So
they're going to give it to him, Cody.
Great job there by Brown. Tried a wide receiver screen, and really a defender got off the block and had an arm on him as soon as he caught the ball, but he broke that tackle and got a great pickup.
And there could not have been a better play for for Brown so far today. And Adamson this time is going to hand the ball off to Cortland Barnes, who's on the right side. And he can't cut the corner there, but
tried an outside sweep there, and he broke the first tackle, but that was a good job by Provine, sticking with the play and stopping them from getting to the edge, which they've done a great job. They have stood off the edge very effectively against the Chargers, not allowed their speed players to get to the outside and get downfield.
Definitely. I think they know, like you said, that the Chargers do have speed players, and a lot of speed guys don't like to run in between the tackles, so good job by that, Provine. This time Gordon's in motion. Adamson takes a snap. He's going to roll out to the right, to the left side, and he's throwing it down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Looked like a Provine player might have gotten a hand on it.
I think that one just wasn't as high as Adamson intended for it to be, and just a roll out there, it's obviously harder to throw on the run, and Adamson is usually very effective on the run. That time just looked like he didn't get a full wind up there for the throw and was able to connect it.
So that's going to be a 3rd and 10 for Oxford now. Ball out their own 22-yard line. We're approaching 7:23 here in the second quarter. Adamson getting some calls from the sidelines. And he's going to take the snap. He's looking to throw the ball. And looks like that's going to be incomplete.
Adamson's pass.
It's a great job there by Provine cornerback. He's coming up kind of holding his arm a little bit, but Eric Hunt just did a great, Tevin Carter did a great job there getting to the ball and knocking it down. Just a great job reading the route and reading the quarterback's eyes to get the swat there.
And, good job for Oxford to get out of the kind of this dangerous position back deep in their own goal line. Give some room for Mills to punt the ball down the field. Provine back to receive it. Of course, Oxford still leads in the second quarter with 7:17 left, 10-0. A low snap. Pretty good hang time there, Cody.
And it did touch an Oxford player, Cortland Barnes there, so we'll be down back around the just around the 50-yard line. And really, that was a great job with getting hang time, like you said. Just a really high kick by Mills and a good job scooping up the low snap. But since it was touched by an Oxford player, it will not get the bounce that it got.
He tried to avoid the ball, but definitely hit him, so absolutely right.
First touch.
Didn't get as many bounces as they
at the
wanted,
48-yard line.
let's see how the defense can hold up.
First and 10.
Ellis under center. He's going to roll out to the left, and Ellis is going to fire the ball down the field.
Ellis's pass is incomplete on the play.
Tried to get it to a tight end there, but just good defense there by the Chargers to force that incomplete pass.
So that's going to be a 2nd and 10 for Provine. Ball out there, 48-yard line. 6:58 in the second quarter. And Cody Ellis hasn't really been in a shotgun at all tonight. And this time, right out under the center, he's going to step back, and that's going to be caught by Provine, and no one's going to catch up to him. Touchdown, Provine. That was Bates on that one.
And Bates, there is just showing his speed's been an effective possession wide receiver, but also has the speed. Took a quick slant just right up the middle, and looks like the safety kind of bit and came forward, and as soon as there was no safety over the top, he was gone.
And, Oxford was completely fooled on that one from the very beginning. He took it under center and quickly fired the ball to Bates, who just showed some great speed on that one. Of course, rockets down the field for a touchdown.
And really, with a run-heavy offense like Provine has, the defense steps up and their safeties come and play in the box to prevent the run, but that can also lead, as we just saw, to long completions because really the safeties aren't over the top to prevent those.
6:48 left. Looks like someone might have called a timeout on
the Oxford High School baseball team would like to announce its annual
6-10 for right now.
giveaway.
Oxford's offense
see any
playing
member of the
effectively
Oxford High
so
School
far.
coaching staff or
Defense,
parent
of course, you can tell they're hurting. Condry Moore missing. Jarquise
Tickets
Adams
are $100 each. It'll be divided amongst as many people as you'd like.
He is actually back in there, but
Please join us for the $10,000 giveaway on December 6th.
Some tolls for Oxford, and they're going to really have to step up and play well, and make sure that plays like that don't break out.
Really got to give credit to Provine. They've done great on their play calling, and they've also done great at just moving the ball in order to get those long passes available.
So Provine now in for the PAT.
Number 10, Bolton, on to attempt the PAT.
And it's going to be a fake, Cody. And it's going to be incomplete. So he just overthrows this man. He actually had a pretty tall guy in the end zone, and it was incomplete. So 10-6 lead for Oxford. 6:48 left in the second quarter.
And Victor Payton there, a 6'2 junior tight end, was there. Really something to see. Their kicking game, it's not really their strongest point right now, so they went with the fake just to try to get 2 points there, and just an overthrown pass didn't go down for them.
While we have some time, we'd like to give a shout out to our game title sponsor, University Sporting Goods. For screen printing needs, University Sporting Goods is the first and largest screen printer in the Oxford area. They invite you to come by and meet their full-time artists and staff to get the best prices in the area. Their wonderful design staff will work with you to create an original t-shirt design for your specific needs, and make sure you tell them that the Oxford High School live streaming staff sent you. Provine's going to kick the ball down the field. Andrell Turner's going to take it at about the 10-yard line, and Turner's a quick one. And he's going to get pushed out of bounds close to the 30-yard line.
For the Chargers. Tackle by number 4, Riddle. Ball is spotted at the 29-yard line. First down and 10, Chargers.
So first and 10 for Oxford at the 29-yard line. 6:41 here in the second quarter with a 10-6 lead for Oxford. Parker Adamson running back out there. He's got Cortland Barnes and Colin Lee. And he's going to give it to Lee this time, and Lee is bouncing. He's running. He's going to take the ball to about the 45.
And Lee there on the first down, and this is just a great example of his vision. He really knows where to find his holes and how to get to the second level. Great job by Lee.
And Cody, you know, we've talked about Lee being a big guy. Yeah, he's a bruiser, but, you know, he's fast as well. And, you know, fast in terms of how big he is. He can definitely rock it down the field, and sometimes I guess defenders underestimate him on that regard. This time, not that much of a gain for Oxford.
Yeah, handed it off to Barnes. There's a flag on the play, so we'll have to see what that is.
Barnes, the ball carrier for the Chargers. Tackled by number 54, Corey Jones. There is a penalty flag on the play. Face mask, the penalty against the Rams.
Looks like that will be a face mask on the Provine Rams.
Penalty is 5 yards from the end of the run.
That was a 5-yard face mask, which means it was incidental contact with the face mask. It was grasped, but it was not pulled in any way, so it's only a 5-yard penalty.
So a 1st and 2 for the Chargers now, Cody. Well, at the 47, Adamson this time looking to throw the ball down the field. He's got all the time, and he's going to try to throw it to KT McCollins. Pass was a little low on that one.
And it was a comeback route to McCollins, and just, you know, didn't reach him all the way, so an incomplete pass there.
So a 2nd and 2 for the Chargers now. Ball still at the 47-yard line. 6:05 in the second quarter. Adamson this time. He's going to hand the ball off, and not too much. Actually, they're going to push him back significantly there.
And Spencer Beasley there did a great job getting to the backfield. Really, the defensive line just did a great job getting there. Really, they've had a 1st and 2, but they haven't really been able to gain anything, and this could be a great stop for the Provine Rams.
So a 3rd and 2 now. They're going to give them forward progress. Adamson getting a call from the sideline. Approaching 5:30 in the second quarter. Adamson's going to send Brown in motion, and this time Adamson's going to play action to Brown and run it up himself.
Number 3, Parker Adamson on the keep.
And it looks like Adamson got that, Cody.
Tackled by number 67.
Good job
Aaron
there, just
Jones.
showing Adamson's power to take it up the middle and get those tough yards.
Get us to the 44-yard line. First down, Chargers.
First and 10 for Oxford at the 44-yard line. Approaching 5 minutes in the second quarter. Adamson lined right back up. He's going to hand the ball off to Cortland Barnes, and he'll get a decent gain on that one.
Number 21, Barnes, the ball carrier for the Chargers. Tackled by number 89 for the Rams. Gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 7 yards to go for Oxford.
Adamson now with Colin Lee and Barnes in the game. He's shotgun, sort of a high snap, and it's a delayed handoff to Barnes, who's on the outside, and he's going to try to break a few times. He takes quite a hit there, Cody, and he's sprawled out on the sidelines.
He lowered his shoulder, and Malcolm Thomas, the senior defensive back, just laid a great hit there at the end of the play.
Malcolm Thomas.
And
he got pushed out of bounds, and the trainers were right there, and they're looking at him right now. Looks like he'll be out of the game
First down,
for this possession.
Yeah, it's really one of the first plays Oxford has got to the outside.
Adamson on shotgun this time, and he's got all day in the pocket. He's looking for KT McCollins, and that's going to be incomplete, but I think McCollins was pushed out of bounds there.
There is a flag, so let's see what that is. And that was a great job of picking up the blitz by the Oxford offensive line, and Colin Lee staying back to block as a fullback.
KT McCollins was pushed out of bounds, and he tried to retain it and then come back in and catch the ball, but he was unable to, and it might be a pass interference call on Provine.
And this could go either way. It could go on Provine for pushing that out of bounds, or if he was not pushed, then it will just be illegal touching by the Oxford wide receiver.
And it is against Provine, so that's going to push the Chargers up. About 4:22 left in the second quarter. Oxford still leads 10-6. They're now at the Provine 16-yard line.
Penalty is 15 yards. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. First down and 10, Chargers.
So a great way to move up the field for Oxford, and they're going to look to score before going into halftime. Adamson takes a snap, looking to fire the ball. He's going down the field, and it was in Andrell Turner's hands, but it cannot. He cannot keep it there, and that's going to be incomplete. Now that's a third drop pass by the Chargers today, Cody.
Second down and 10.
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of struggling getting those tough passes in there, and hopefully for them they'll start to just connect more with the quarterback and make those tough grabs.
And that one could have been an easy touchdown for Oxford, but they're lined back up. It will be a 2nd and 10. Adamson getting the call from the sidelines. And he's going to take the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Colin Lee. And Lee's going to walk right into the end zone. Touchdown, Oxford.
Great job there by Lee. He just took it to the inside, took it off the tackle, and then just broke to the outside. Really, he waltzed into the end zone there almost untouched. So it was a great job by Colin Lee to follow his blocks and get into the end zone.
Just a great job of running the ball all together tonight. Jarius Barnes started running back, not playing. Colin Lee has played well, so has Cortland Barnes. So Cody Mills out there for the PAT for Oxford. And that's going to go right upright. So the Oxford Chargers, 4:11 left in the second quarter, lead 17-6 against the Provine Rams.
17. Cody Mills set to kick off for the Chargers. Back deep for the Rams. Number 8, Malcolm Thomas.
And Cody Mills now to kick the ball off to Provine. And he's going to boot this one down the field. Takes a bounce at about the 20-yard line. It's going to be picked up by Provine at about the 11. And he's going to break the edge there, Cody. And that's a decent return. Oxford had a chance to bring him down at about the 10-yard line, but he just absolutely cuts it. And the Oxford player cannot get him, so it's a pretty good return for Provine.
That's just something you'll see. They'll put their best athletes for just any team. They're going to put their best athletes on the kickoff and punt return to try to use their athleticism, use their speed to get a big return. Provine is going to line up in an I formation.
And Ellis out of the center. He's going to hand the ball off. And not too much of a gain there for Jenkins.
Number 11, Lee, the ball carrier.
It was actually Robert Lee. Yeah, Robert Lee there on the carry. He's a senior halfback / fullback. He's kind of a power halfback for this team.
Gain of 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Rams.
So a 2nd and 7 for Provine at the 30-yard line. Clock is approaching about 3:30 in the second quarter. And Ellis under the center. He's going to hand the ball off. And Oxford's going to get him right in the backfield. That was Jenkins. Or actually, that was Robert Lee again.
Number 11, Lee, the ball carrier for the Rams.
Something this Provine Rams team has is they have good depth in the backfield, so you're going to see them rotating their backs in and out to keep some fresh legs in there.
You know, Lee is actually averaging around or actually over 5 yards per carry on the season. Whenever Jenkins is not in the game, he's done a good job, so we might see him a lot tonight as well. Ellis out of the center. He's looking to throw the ball down the field, and it's going to be caught. And he's going to be brought down. No, he's not. Finally, at about the 30-yard line. I think that was Bates, Cody.
Another sensational grab there by Bates. Really, the quarterback Tipton did a great job playing the ball, but Bates was able to take it away from him and make the great play on the sideline and then extend the play, keep his feet in bounds, and get another good 5 yards after the catch. Great job there by Joshua Bates.
I thought he was going to be brought down 2 or 3 times on that play, but he kept moving his feet. And at the end, he was brought down at the 30, but a lot of fight in Bates. So Ellis now under center again. He's going to take the snap. He's looking down the field, and it's going to be incomplete.
It looks like they're trying to go deep again. At that time, the wide receiver looks like he kind of overran the ball and came a little too close to it. Probably should have tried to fade back and get it. But that's something we have seen in Dewan Ellis is he has just done a great deep ball so far in the game. We saw with that last play to Bates and earlier in the game and that long touchdown. But he's just still a great touch on his deep balls.
KT McCollum on the coverage there. He's actually done a good job tonight. He's going to check out right now. Lee Anthony Rogers is going to come in. Actually, he's going to switch sides with Lee Anthony Rogers. And they're going to let Rogers go at it with Bates. Ellis this time under center. He's going to throw the ball, and it's going to be caught.
And Bates is just really showing off his exceptional hands. That was a great diving catch on the screen pass. Really, that was, once again, good coverage by Rogers. Rogers was step for step with him, but Bates just used his power and his length to make that catch.
And actually, you're right, he was step for step with him. Rogers would have maybe reached out a hand, but Bates is just a really athletic player, and we just got to give him credit.
He did a great job shielding the defensive back from the ball with his body, and Rogers just didn't have a chance at it.
So 1st and 10 for Provine now at the 21-yard line, and Ellis. It's going to be a delayed handoff and a decent carry on that one. That was Jenkins.
Number 7,
it was a good tackle there by Juan Edwards. He had some help after he initially got him, but just a good job getting there, preventing the long run and just holding on to him until he could get some help on defense.
Gain of 1 on the play.
2nd and 9 for Provine. Approaching 1:30 here in the first quarter at Bobby Holcomb Field. Of course, Oxford still leads 17-6. Provine threatening before halftime to score. Ellis out from center. He's going to hand the ball off to Jenkins. decent carry there again.
Number 7, Jenkins, the ball carrier for the Rams. Tackled by number 26, Adams.
Cody, they're moving the ball down the field and done it effectively.
Really, their offensive line's blocking well right now. We're approaching 1 minute left, so they might look to go to the air to get that quick score, but they just ran very well. Good tackle there by John Adams.
3rd and 3 for Provine now. Approaching 50 seconds here in the first half. Ellis takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Jenkins, and Jenkins is looking to score, and he's going to be stopped at about the 9-yard line.
He tried to use his speed there to get to the outside, but John Adams and KT Collins did a great job just getting to the outside and preventing him from really just using his speed on the outside.
Adams is actually limping a little bit. We hope that's not too serious.
First down and goal. Timeout on the field with 34 seconds remaining before halftime. Timeout Provine, their second timeout of the half.
Provine's going to take a timeout to talk it over with right now to make sure that they can get a touchdown before the end of the first half.
Dr. Field and the University Sports Medicine staff for being the team doctor and staff of the Oxford Chargers. The Oxford Athletic Department says thank you for your service to our student athletes. The Oxford Athletic Department would also like to thank another one of our sponsors tonight, Kyle Wicker and his staff at Cornerstone Rehabilitation, for their work with our student athletes. The Oxford Athletic Department says thank you.
34.6 seconds left here in the second quarter. Oxford leads 17-6, but Provine is threatening to score right now. Ball at the 10-yard line. Ellis under center. He's going to look to throw the ball, and that's going to be caught by Bates, and touchdown Provine.
And that was a perfect back shoulder fade there. Once again to Bates. He made a great job elevating, making the catch there. And Rogers just didn't turn his head around quick enough. That's obviously something very hard to do on fade routes, so he wasn't able to knock the pass down. A great pass there by Ellis.
And there you go. So they switched Rogers and Collins, but that doesn't seem to have made a big difference. Bates and Jenkins have really been the two players of the game so far.
I mean, really, especially Bates. He's just been a trouble for any Oxford defensive back he's lined up against. And he's just, no one really expected him to come out and play just as well as he has right now. He's caught every pass thrown to him. And he's just doing an exceptional job.
So it looks like Provine's going to try to get those 2 points again. They're over there talking it over, but they might just come out and try the PAT and go into halftime with 13-17 deficit, I guess. But they can come back the next half, and they will get the ball to begin the third quarter. So,
as we saw with last time, they went for the fake PAT there. So they're not too certain about going for the PAT any time, but they might try the kick right here.
Not sure how I got it, not $1 in my pocket, and it kind of looks just like you.
Cody, from the looks of it, they might go for it. I see Jenkins out there, and so is Ellis. So Provine's going to look to get the 2 points. Ellis, he's going to roll out to the left. He's going to try to throw the ball, and that's going to be good.
It is complete, but there's a flag on the play, so we'll have to see what that call is.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
Still no signal from the refs. And that's going to be on Oxford, Cody.
On the Chargers.
And so it will be the 2-point conversion. So that really gets them back to 14, makes up for the failed 2-point conversion earlier. And that's just showing what they'd like to do with Ellis. He's either done a lot of rollout passes as well, and he's just done short drops and fired the ball deep. They just like to get him the ball, get the ball quickly with him and give him some space on the outside.
17.
And going into halftime now, unless the Chargers can score with 27.8 seconds left, Provine is only down 3 points. Like we've mentioned, they will get the ball to begin the third quarter. So they've got to be pumped right now, even though they're not winning. A little bit of momentum on their side.
Illegal participation penalty assessed 15 yards on the kickoff.
And the Provine Rams have moved up 15
Number 9,
yards.
Barber.
So this should be an easy
Set to
touchback
kick
for
off from the
Provine.
Rams.
And that's actually going to be a short kickoff there. It's going to be picked up. And looks like that is Colin Barnes.
Number 21, Barnes.
That was a really hard hit on Barnes there.
Tackled by number 8, Thomas.
Good job preventing him from getting past the 20 there, which,
Chargers take over.
obviously you want to
First
get
down.
to for the
10 yards
kickoff.
to
Just
go.
a good job getting to the ball and a good kick there. It wasn't the farthest, but it was a good kick just because it didn't let him advance the ball that far.
Definitely. And the Chargers now will get the ball at the 19-yard line. A 1st and 10 with 19.4 seconds left. Of course, they still have the 3-point lead, 17-14. And the Chargers might just kneel the ball, and that they do. And so we will go into halftime with Oxford leading 17-14. And so that's going to be it. So stick around and watch the Oxford High School Marching Band. The halftime show is sponsored by FNC. Hope you stick around for that and come back for the second half as we will join you then. Again, the halftime score 17-14 Oxford.
Score at halftime. The visiting Provine Rams 14 and your Oxford Chargers 17. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oxford High School Marching Band. Band is under the direction of Mr. John Nixon, Mr. Jared Brownlee, and Miss Marsha Morgan. The band is under the field direction of Drum Major Mary Bailey Linton. How about another big round of applause for the Oxford High School Band? Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to midfield for a very special presentation. Tonight, the Oxford Athletic Department is recognizing the OHS swim teams on their achievements during the recent state swim meet. The boys team finished third overall in the MHSAA Class 2 state swim meet. They finished third behind Tupelo and Madison Central, both 6A schools. The boys team competed with just 12 guys and finished as the top-ranked 5A school. The 500 freestyle record was broken by 3 OHS swimmers, Jack Cutler, Brian Clancy, and Thomas Murphy. Brian Clancy broke it with the fastest time of 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Also, 3 of the guys' relays teams came within tenths of a second to breaking the school record. Freshman Jacob Nichols, sophomore Thomas Murphy, and juniors Brian Clancy, Jack Cutler, and Dion Kevin all finished top 8 in their respective events. The relay teams placed 4th twice and 2nd in the 400 freestyle. The seniors for the guys team are Ty Ding, Ryan Koppel, Nick Lee, and Vic Bishop. Please join me in celebrating the accomplishment of the OHS boys swim team. And now for the OHS girls swim team. The girls team finished third overall behind Starkville and Tupelo with only 7 girls competing at the state meet. Marta Burwell, Dora Chin, and Sarah Wilson are the senior members of the OHS girls swim team. Marta finished third in both the 200 freestyle and in the 500 freestyle. Dora Chin finished second in the 200 free and 4th in the 100 free. Sarah Wilson finished 8th in the 200 free. Cindy Torma had 2 fifth-place finishes in the 50 and 100 free. Allie Card finished 4th in the 100-meter backstroke. The girls' relays finished 2nd and 5th in their respective races. Please join me in celebrating these outstanding young ladies and guys on their recent accomplishments in the state swim meet. Oxford Charger fans, please turn your attention to the football field. The children in the blue gear before you are members of the Oxford Buccaneers youth football team. These young men and women selflessly dedicated themselves to their teammates and coaches this fall to develop into better student athletes. The results on the field were astounding. The 3 age groups combined for an overall record of 27 wins and only 3 losses. The teams were Super Bowl champs, NFC champions, and the Orange Bowl champs. The Buccaneers would like to thank their parents, fans, the Oxford School Board, Superintendent Brian Harvey, Coach Johnny Heel, and Larry Moon Campbell for all of their support and dedication this season. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and give a big round of applause for your future Oxford Chargers. Some halftime scores from around the state of Mississippi in the MHSAA playoffs. In 3A, at halftime, Cleveland Eastside 12 and Water Valley 9. In the Class 4A playoffs, Houston 13, Yazoo County 0. Noxubee County 14 and Lafayette High School 0. Lewisburg 3 and Itawamba High School 3, all at halftime. In the Class 5A playoffs, West Point 14, Canton 0. Pearl River Central 28 and Macomb 6. Brookhaven 28 and Picayune High School 21. Wayne County High School 14 and Moss Point 7. At halftime, Ridgeland 6 and Center Hill 3. And in the game that the winner of this game matches up with, Starkville 31, Saltillo 7 at halftime. In the 6A playoffs, South Panola 21 and Jim Hill 7. Hattiesburg 7, Gulfport 0. Clinton 7, South Haven 0. Biloxi 24 and Petal 21. Madison Central 27 and Columbus 0. Again, some scores from around the MHSAA playoffs.
Right now, we're joined by former Oxford High School quarterback Guy Billups. Guy, how's it going, man?
It's going well, going well.
Guy's at Rice right now and broke almost every single passing record here at Oxford High School. Guy, how's it going at Rice?
It's going well. We got a tough season going. 2 more games and we'll be in a bowl game, so we're excited. Look forward to that.
Sounds awesome. What do you think of your Chargers right now?
They're looking great. Defense looks great. That offense, new spread offense, sure is impressive.
Would you have liked to play in that?
Oh, heck yeah. Parker's doing a great job with it, though. It's impressive to watch.
Talk about Parker. You know, he played a little, whenever they rested you here. He's really grown as a quarterback. Just talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell he's really matured since his freshman year and sophomore year. He commands the offense. I saw him checking some plays, throws the ball really accurate, got a heck of an arm. He's gonna go on to do big things.
All right, from what you've seen so far, what do we need to do to maybe increase the lead a little bit and go into next week and play a tough game against Starkville, it looks like?
I think the offense needs to keep scoring, keep doing what they're doing. I think the defense will get it locked down. Watch, Coach Hill and them have some adjustments for the second half, slow down the pass game, and they'll be good to go.
All right, thank you, Guy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
This ain't no given time I'm hurting, but maybe we can work it out. Won't be no champagne, red rose, romance, second chance. This is gone, 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 gone. Gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday. Gone like a soldier in a Civil War. Bang, bang, gone like a 59 Cadillac. Like all in good days, that ain't never coming back. Long gone, done me wrong, never coming back, my baby's gone. Yeah, she's gone. Love me at home, sitting all alone, she packed her bags and now she's gone. Never coming back, she's gone. Gone, gone, gone. Gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday. Gone like a soldier in the Civil War. Bang, bang, gone like a 59 Cadillac. Like all in good days, that ain't never coming back. And she's gone, she's gone, she's gone.
At halftime, CTV News' Kennedy Telford spoke to Coach Hill. We're going to play that for you right now.
So, Coach, we haven't seen Jarius Barnes in a while. What's the update on him?
Well, his ankle's been kind of tender, and we've been trying to hold him out as much as we can and try to let his ankle heal back up.
How well have Conley and Cortland picked up for him?
They've done great. They've stepped in and have played well. We have no complaints at all.
Thank you, Coach. This is Kennedy Telford reporting for CTV News.
And there you have it. So, Cody, I was in the locker room just now, a little bit, so halftime's going on, and the players told me that the coaches are really trying to pump them up to come out in the second half. Of course, they kind of did, point out the mistakes, but really a lot of positive reinforcement, trying to make sure that they come out positively and pumped up for the second half. I talked to Toller Presley a little bit. Of course, he says he's doing fine after his surgery. 2 pins in, I believe, his right arm. Of course, it was a broken finger, and he says it doesn't look positive for him to return back, but he's really, ready to be out there for the team and support the team.
That obviously is going to hurt this Charger team, but like you were saying, the Chargers have really done a great job this year of coming in at halftime and making adjustments. They really just played better after the second half and just done a great job making those adjustments.
And that's something former Oxford High School quarterback Guy Phillips just said. Johnny Hill always finds a way to change things, and they're going to have to, because Josh Bates has really been the key player for Provine right now, and just that speed, I think Oxford wasn't really expecting that.
Really, his hands have been great, and Ellis is just throwing it up in a position where only he can catch it.
Number 29,
sensational grabs.
And you're right, Ellis. I think that caught them
For
off
the Chargers to begin the
They were
second
expecting
half.
Jenkins to get a little bit more touches, but I'm sure they came out with adjustments. And Cody Mills has been a consistent part of the game today, and he's back to kick it off
Back
to
deep for the
Provine.
Rams, number 8, Malcolm Thomas. Also back deep, number 16, Rashad Aldridge.
Short kick. Yeah, that's going to be picked up by Provine a little bit past the 30-yard line. And Cody, I don't know if he was trying to squib it or maybe try it.
That could have been either one. The kickoff formation, they were just lined up around the kicker, so it looked like it could have been an onside up the middle, but it definitely went farther than you wanted for an onside kick. So either way, they get it. They don't get too great a field positioning because of that kick, so it looks like it was worth it.
So Provine taking the ball over at about the 32-yard line, 1st and 10, starting off the third quarter. And we're going to see Ellis under center again. And he's got Jenkins in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Jenkins. Pretty decent carry up the middle.
Number 7,
That's a good stop there by number 61. 61, Joel Forster playing at the nose guard position.
Also going to play number
Forster
6,
has been
Juan
one of the
Edwards,
keys to the
number
defense
9,
this year.
Darius
He's really
Wiggins.
big. A little disappointment for him this season. I talked to him early on when the Mississippi All-Star roster came out, and he told me he was going to use that
3 yards
as
on the play,
motivation
second
as
down
the
and
playoffs
7
start
for
to
the
really
Rams.
prove to them that they were wrong in not picking him for that, and I think he's done a good enough job in that regard. Ellis right back under center, 2nd down. He's going to play action. And he's looking to fire the ball. And it's going to be incomplete. He overthrows his man there.
Ellis's pass is
Tried to get it back to Bates, and that time just got away from him. He's really done a great job throwing deep passes to Bates, that time was not able to connect. And Sudi, like you were saying earlier, the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star Game, it's an annual bowl game for some of the top high school seniors in both those states. And Xavier Pinkeys and Park Rapson both did make the team and will be competing when the game comes around.
And definitely they've earned it. So it's going to be a 3rd and 8 situation for Provine, 11-13 in the third quarter. Of course, Provine scored going into halftime, so it is a 14-17 Oxford lead still, but they do have a little bit of momentum on their side. And Ellis now under center again. And he's going to give a delayed handoff to Jenkins. He's going to bust a pretty big run for a 1st down.
Number 7, Jenkins. The ball
That
carrier
caught
for the
Oxford
Rams.
off guard completely there, Coach.
Tackled by number
Just
4,
a great hand up
P.T.
off
McCollum.
the middle, and Jenkins did a great job breaking that first tackle,
Jenkins
getting
to
past the initial
47-yard
contact,
line.
and then
First
pushing
down
for
and
extra
10,
yards.
Provine.
So 1st and 10 for Provine now. Ball at the 47-yard line. Approaching 10:59 here in the third quarter. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it right off to Jenkins again. This time Oxford's defense looks like forced a fumble.
Number 7, Jenkins, the ball carrier.
And Oxford says they have it. Let's get the official call. The Oxford coaches are signaling Oxford has the ball as well. Night, like I mentioned, McCollins really steps up when he needs to go.
And right there, we've seen Oxford throw a whole lot of plays. They've been doing short man coverage, really haven't had a man deep. And that time, McCollins was deep, and he was just waiting back there for the interception. They put him just on a deep zone, and he was right there for the interception. That time, the pass kind of sailed on Ellis, and Oxford took advantage of that big time.
And that was huge for Oxford. That kind of deflates the momentum that Provine had kind of been getting on their side. And now Parker Adamson right back out there, ready to go. Ball at the 20-yard line for Oxford, 1st and 10. Adamson in a shotgun. Adamson takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Colin Lee, and Lee's going to try to bounce out on the left side, and looks like he might have gotten one or maybe back to the original line of scrimmage there, Cody.
That was an interesting call there. Lee's a runner they usually primarily try to use down the middle, but they gave him an outside handoff there, trying to use his speed, as we talked about earlier, to get to the outside. Good tackle there by Malcolm Thomas, who's playing cornerback for this Provine team.
And he actually got 5 yards on that one. A 2nd and 5, ball at the 24-yard line now. Adamson right back in a shotgun. Just getting a call from the sidelines. Maybe changing things up a bit. Adamson takes a snap, and he's going to take it up the middle himself, and Adamson's at the 40-yard, a little bit before the 40, and the ball come out there. But
it looks like the ground definitely caused the fumble there. He kind of rolled off his elbow, and the ball came out. I think he definitely was down.
Tackle for
the refs are signaling that it is Oxford's ball and that the ground did cause fumble after Adamson was down.
So he was down a little bit before the 40-yard line. So a nice run for Parker Adamson. A 1st and 10 now at the 38-yard line. Adamson takes a snap, play action. And pressure getting to Adamson. He's going to dump the ball off, and that's going to be a fumble for sure, Cody. Let's get the official call. And no signal yet. Looks like Oxford might have gotten it back.
Turner definitely got up from the pile with the ball. Not sure if he will be rewarded with the recovery.
And he is. So Andre Turner, he actually, that was ruled a fumble and picked up by Oxford. So dangerous there for Oxford.
32-yard line.
Yeah, they called a short pass there to Turner, and the defense did a great job punching it out, but a great job by Turner just to make up for his mistake and get the ball back.
So a 2nd and 16 for Oxford now. Ball at the 32-yard line. Adamson throws a screen out to Barnes. Barnes is going to take it to the 40, and a little bit past that. It's not going to pick up the 1st down, but nonetheless a good gain.
It's a great swing pass there to Barnes, and that gives them a much more manageable 3rd down than before and a chance to get this 1st down.
To the 43-yard line, 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
So a 3rd and 6 for Provine. We're approaching 8:37 here in the 3rd quarter. Excuse me. Adamson getting calls from the sideline. Of course, the Chargers like to use a lot of signals and boards. A lot of funny symbols on their boards. I think they've got Mitt Romney and a Sonic sign.
Yeah, if the defense can figure that out, then that's pretty crazy.
Adamson takes a snap. Looking to fire the ball. Adamson's going down the field. And Provine makes a play on the ball, and that's going to be picked off.
Adamson's pass is intercepted on the play.
And Adamson underthrew that one. And actually, Shannon actually made more of a play on that ball than Adamson underthrowing it.
Oh, I mean, Shannon really, he was the dominant, player on just for that play. He just fought past the wide receiver and got the ball. I mean, it looked like he was almost the wide receiver on that play. He just used his strength to get in front and made a great play on the ball.
So a back and forth affair right now after Provine gets intercepted. Oxford throws an interception as well. 8:11 in the 3rd quarter. Oxford still leads 17-14. Provine now 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Ellis under center. He's going to take the snap, hand the ball off to Jenkins, and Oxford's going to snip that one out right away.
Number 7, Jenkins, the ball carrier for the Rams. Tackled by number 61.
Cody Jenkins has done
a
decent job tonight. He's done what we know he can, but really the dominating factor has been the fact that Ellis has thrown the ball. And when I talked to Tola Presley during halftime, he told me when they watched film of Ellis, they didn't know he was that good of a thrower. They just expected Ellis to be the workhorse of the offense. So Ellis back under center. And he's going to hand that one off. And Darius Liggins read that one perfectly for Oxford, including one Edwards. So a great job.
Jenkins, the ball carrier for the Rams.
Just like you were saying, Edwards has done a great job passing. And really, I think they knew they couldn't be one-dimensional when they came out. They knew if they just came out and tried to run it every time, that Oxford would be able to stop it. So they incorporated the pass game, and it has paid off huge for this Provine team.
So approaching 7:05 here in the third quarter. 3rd and 6 for Provine at the 45-yard line, excuse me. Ellis from under center takes a snap, throws a short pass, and Oxford's trying to make sure he doesn't get the first, but Cody, I think forward progress might get Provine the first down there.
And it looks like it will, and that was a funny little pass there by the quarterback. Just kind of lofted it over the line there, and it got him the first down, so a good play there by Provine.
And John Adams, I guess you can call him a veteran, is giving DK Metcalf a talk out there on the field, making sure he sticks with his man. Metcalf is just a freshman. This game and I believe last game were really his first true starts for the Chargers, so he's still learning out there. Ellis again under center. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to his fullback. And it looks like a 1 or 2 yard gain on that one.
He got it to the senior Greg Walker there, who also plays defensive line as well as fullback. So obviously he has a lot of power just to help him get those tough yards.
So Ellis lined up again, under center. He's going to hand it off to Jenkins. And Jenkins fumbles the ball. Looks like Oxford's recovered it. So Cody, a crazy third quarter. 3 turnovers now.
Just a great play there by John Adams. He actually he didn't really go for the tackle, just went straight for the ball, and it paid off huge as he knocked the ball out where then Oxford was able to recover it. It's a huge change of momentum as well as a change of possession, and really that gives Oxford a chance to just get back in this ball game and get back on top where they like to be. Just a great job there by Adams to knock it out.
Definitely, and John Adams is a very hungry player. Every week I talk to him, he just tells me how much he loves to hit and just be aggressive. And I have a class with him, and towards the end of class, when we're almost finished with everything, you can always see him on his app for Huddle, watching the other team's offense. So he really has a drive and really wants to be successful. So Adamson back out on the field, and he's going to take it up the middle himself. And Adamson's been very successful with that tonight, Cody.
They've used the quarterback run a lot, and both just draws for the quarterback and in read options, and it's done well. Adamson showed off his power and his speed, and it's been an effective part of this game plan for the Oxford Chargers.
2nd and 3 for the Chargers. Ball at the 44-yard line. Approaching 5:30 here in the third quarter. Oxford slowly moving the ball up the field. Adamson no backs this time, and he's going to take it up the middle himself again. And Adamson's past the 50-yard line. He's going to take it to the 40. He's still on his feet.
Adamson, the ball carrier.
Parker Adamson just very effective with that quarterback sneak. A great time, I think, to use it because Provine was really not expecting that out of Parker Adamson.
And that is the second time that Oxford has used this. What happens is Adamson takes a snap, fakes like he's going to throw a screen pass, then just jets up the middle. And it's worked great both times they've used it. It gets him a great first down. Really showed his power at the end of the run, pushing the pile and just keeping his legs churning.
So great job by Parker Adamson. Approaching 4:59 here in the third quarter. Looks like someone called a timeout. Looks like Provine called a timeout there, Cody. While we're at timeout, we'd like to mention our game title sponsors, University Sporting Goods. With over 100 years of combined monogramming and seamstress experience, University Sporting Goods is equipped to handle all of your monogramming and alteration needs. Sporting Goods can also engrave multiple items for you right there in the shop. There's no sending it off. And make sure you tell them that the Oxford High School live streaming staff sent you. Chargers right back out there. 1st and 10, ball at the 35-yard line. .503 here in the third quarter. Adamson, no backs, takes the snap. Pressure getting to Adamson. He's going to fire it right down the field, and it's going to be caught by Nick Brown. Great catch for the Oxford Chargers there, and the Oxford fans are just going wild.
And that was an incredible catch by Brown. He ran the skinny post just right up the field, did a great job getting open, and then just had to bobble the ball to really get it. It was on the ground when he actually made the grab. Just a great grab there by Nick Brown, just showing off his explosiveness as well as his consistency with his hands.
And Tyrell McGee is coming into the game for Oxford. Adamson this time under center. He's in an I formation. The first big play for the Chargers right there today. And Adamson's going to hand it off to Cortland Barnes.
Number 21,
He's not
Cortland
in.
Barnes, the ball carrier for the Chargers.
Decent gain there.
Tackle by number 51, Taylor. Gain is inside
So
the 5.
a second and goal for
Second down
Oxford.
and goal to go for Oxford.
And Oxford's going to hand the ball off to Barnes. And Cortland Barnes is in the end zone. Touchdown, Oxford. So a great job by Oxford capitalizing on the Provine turnover, and the Chargers are right back up.
It was a great job by the offense. It was a great job by the offensive line, really, to clear a hole for him, and then just a great job by Barnes to lower his shoulder and get the touchdown.
Definitely right. Now with a double-digit lead again for Oxford. The momentum back on their side, so good job by Oxford. Now Cody Mills out there to get the point after attempt for Oxford. That splits the uprights, so Oxford now leads 24-14. 4:08 left in the third quarter.
Here are the Class 5A playoffs. The visiting Rams 14 and your Oxford Chargers 24.
Cody Mills back.
Cody Mills set to kick off.
Kick the ball for the Chargers. Provine back deep to receive it.
Number 8, Malcolm Thomas, and number 16, Aldridge.
Mills, a line drive kick. Provine's going to pick it up at about the 11-yard line. Pretty decent return. Oxford's going to stop him at about the 20.
It was a great tackle there by Juan Edwards. Also there for the stop was Hunter McCullough, and he's actually a starting offensive lineman for this team. That just shows you, some of the athletes Oxford has, having an offensive lineman that can also play special teams.
So Ellis back out there in that offense, who made a big mistake that the Chargers capitalized on.
And back on McCullough, one of the reasons why he can do that is because he actually played fullback before we incorporated this spread system, and then he moved to offensive lineman.
So multiple position player, McCullough. And Ellis now for Provine under center. He's going to hand the ball off, and Oxford's going to sniff that one out right away. And that was Robert Lee on the carry.
Number 11, Lee, the ball carrier for the Rams. Tackled by number 10, Mike McGee. Gain of 3 on the play. Second down and 7 yards to go for Provine.
So a 2nd and 7 for Provine. 23-yard line. Approaching 3:25 here in the third quarter. Ellis under center. He's going to play action. He rolls out to the left. Ellis is going to take off with the ball, and Oxford was not expecting that. Ellis is going to run out of bounds, but he picks up the first down on his way.
And that's just showing Ellis' ability to run the ball. We haven't seen that much as he's been primarily a passer in this game, but just showing he has the speed to get to the outside and gain that first down.
Good job by Ellis, and that's kind of what I guess the Chargers defense was expecting coming into the game with Ellis. Of course, he completely fooled them by being a pretty good passer, pretty efficient passer in the first half, and right there when the Chargers were least expecting it, took off with the ball, so very effective for Provine. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Ellis this time throwing the ball. Short pass and a catch.
Ellis' pass, complete on the play. To number 9, Eric Barber.
And he got it to Eric Barber
Gain of 5
on a little curl route there, just a good 5-yard pickup for the Provine Rams.
So approaching 2:45 here in the third quarter. 2nd and 4 for Provine at the 40-yard line. And Ellis is going to hand the ball off this time, and looks like enough for a first down by Robert Lee.
Number 11, Lee.
That was a good job just to keep his feet moving once he took the initial hit and was able to push forward for the first down.
Gain to the 42-yard line. First down and 10, Provine.
First and 10, ball at the 47-yard line for Provine. Ellis this time going for a short pass to Bates, and Oxford's really eager to get him down. Usually 4 or 5 guys coming to get a hit on Bates.
They definitely know that they can't leave Bates one-on-one anymore. They got to keep giving defensive help to make sure he doesn't break off another long completion.
Gain of 4
So we have less than 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Oxford leading 24-14, but Provine is moving the ball up the field, threatening to score. And Cody, if you just look on the visitors' side, you can see the Provine band is marching onto the field.
Yeah, and they got lost earlier when they were trying to get to Oxford.
On the way to Oxford, definitely. And Ellis is going to hand the ball off, and Oxford's going to eat it up. That was Xavier Pegues. Eats him up right away. And as we were saying, they got lost on their way to Oxford, and they're now marching to the visitors' side. And Provine's from the Jackson area, and they're really known for their really good bands with high-powered sounds and bass, and really going to see that, but looks like
Xavier Pegues is down. He was on that tackle and just kind of came down awkwardly as soon as he just came off the ball carrier, and the trainers are tending to him right now. Obviously, that's a huge part of this Oxford defense and the senior leadership. The Oxford players are already in a kneel, and just hope that he's all right. And Oxford, of course, hopes that he can, help him out because he's been a huge part of this team.
That's the last thing Oxford needs right now is another starter to go out, especially on defense, one of the most consistent parts of this team. If Oxford wins tonight, they're going to need their best players for Starkville next week. Right now, Starkville is leading against Saltillo. The score is 38-7.
And as we were saying about Provine's band, Xavier Pegues is walking off the field, so it looks like he will be all right. So it's definitely a great sign for Oxford. But back to Provine's band, I've heard glowing reviews of the band so far. They were supposed to perform at halftime, but they weren't able to because of just getting lost on the way here. They are a Jackson school, so obviously it's kind of a long drive to get to Oxford. It's over 3 hours, so it looks like they just kind of had trouble finding here. And hopefully we'll still get some great entertainment of them in the stands.
I know many Oxford students are here looking to listen to Provine's band as well. This time Ellis, play action. He's going down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. A little high for his receiver.
They were just running another deep route to Bates there. And just that time, Oxford once again double-covered Bates. They want to make sure he does not get the ball because they know how dangerous he is. And they know that if the quarterback gets anywhere near him, he can make the grab.
So a 4th and 4 situation for Provine. Ball at the 47-yard line. 1:09 left in the third quarter. They're looking to punt the ball to Oxford. KT McCollins deep to return it.
Receive number 4, KT McCollins.
High snap there. And a nice punt by Provine. McCollins is going to take the ball at about the 10-yard line. He's going to shake a man, and he's going to make it to maybe about the 18-yard line before he's brought down. While we have the time, let's go through 5A playoff games. Round 1. Right now, West Point is leading Canton 28-0. Richland
Return
is
to the
leading
19-yard line.
Center Hill 13-3.
Oxford.
Starkville, as we mentioned before, is leading South Hill 38-7. Of course, Oxford is leading Provine 24-14. At the other side of 5A for you in just a bit. Adamson now out there. And he's going to take off with it again, and Adamson has been very effective with that.
Number 3, Adamson, the ball carrier.
This time looks like he only might have gotten 2 or 3.
And that was actually a great job by Adamson using the read option. Saw that Barnes was going to be covered on the play and took it himself. But just a good job of Provine to swarm to both people there, the running back and the quarterback, and able to make the stop. And Adamson under center. In I formation. Takes a snap. And he's going to hand it off up the middle, and he's going to be stopped for a short gain. Actually, it looks like it's going to be close to the line of scrimmage.
That's Cortland Barnes on the carry there.
Ball carrier for the Chargers. Tackled by number 21, Allen. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for Oxford.
And I think their position clock, they were letting the clock run out in the third quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, Oxford leads Provine 24-14.
And your Oxford
the fourth quarter, Cody, the Chargers are going to have to play very strong and make sure that the Provine Rams don't take advantage of them with Bates and, of course, Jenkins, as always. And, of course, Ellis has done a good job as well.
I mean, they have the lead right now. This is where they want to be, but they got to keep adding to it and just not let Provine get back into this game because they will keep fighting to the end.
Of course, today's game is sponsored by University Sporting Goods. If you have any specific questions, you can call University Sporting Goods at 662-234-1703. And as always, make sure you tell them that the Oxford High School live streaming staff sent you. Adamson this time is going to hand the ball off to Barnes, and he's on the outside trying to break the edge, and he can't get past the Provine defenders.
For the Chargers. Gain of 3 yards.
It's going to be a fourth down situation for the Oxford Chargers.
And 1 to go for Oxford.
So with a 4th and 1, looks like Oxford might actually go for it. Cody Glenn Gordon is checking into the game. They're sending Colin Lee out. And Adamson's in a shotgun. He's going to send Gordon in motion. Adamson's got a single man in the backfield. Getting a call from the sideline.
Timeout on the field. Timeout Oxford.
Oxford took a timeout. I think Oxford was trying to catch Provine off sides. They try to freeze, which is where Adamson goes up and does a hard count before getting a signal from the Oxford sidelines, but looks like they did not, so they might just punt the ball off, or they're just going to discuss it and maybe go for it again.
And that's just a common thing you'll see. They'll come out and act like they're going to run a play and just call the hard count just so they can get that first down without having to risk, turning it over on down. So probably go with a punt here now and just try to pin their opponents deep in their own territory.
Number 29, Mills, set to punt.
So Cody Mills now back to punt the ball to Provine. And that's just a beautiful punt. Takes a few Oxford bounces. It's going to be picked up by Provine at about the 25. And And Oxford's going to stop him right there. And Cody, on that play, Jarius Barnes was actually in. I think they were resting Barnes today, and I think he was just itching to get back out there, so they let him get back in on the punt.
That was a sensational punt there by Mills. I mean, just had good hang time, but really it just had great distance there. And really, that's a play when the opposing team can usually get around the 50, 40-yard line and get great field positioning to start the drive, but they're just going to be pinned back farther than that thanks to Mills' great kick.
Now the Oxford defense called on with a 24-14 lead. Oxford wants to move on in the second round of the 5A playoffs. And Ellis this time is going to hand the ball off. And a decent run for Provine there. Robert Lee on the carry.
Tackle by number 26, Adams. Gain of 4 yards on the play. Second down and 6 to go for Provine.
Here's some more 5A playoff scores for you. Right now, Picayune, who won 5A last year, is leading Brookhaven 28-20. Ellis now back out there for Provine. Under center, hands the ball off. And Oxford's going to sniff that one out. That was Robert Lee on the carry once again. And Jenkins and Lee have just done a nice job of rotating throughout the night. Jenkins hasn't been as effective as he has been throughout the season, but they've made up for it. And we've harped on this enough. Bates has kind of been quiet in the second half of the third quarter, and of course, in the beginning of the fourth quarter. But we're going to keep looking out for him because he's one of those players you have to watch out for. Ellis this time looking to go deep, and it's going to be caught by Provine. And it looks like he got the first down as well.
Ellis's pass complete on the play to number 24, Bates.
And that was right back to Bates, who's just been the premier wide receiver, and that was a great job by him to stretch the ball out after he made the catch, and sure he made that first down.
And we might have jinxed Oxford there. As soon as I mentioned Bates hasn't been effective, Bates is like, I'm going to show you, and right there picks up the first down. We actually have an update on the Picayune-Brookhaven game. The game is now tied 28-28. So this time Ellis is going to hand the ball off, and Provine's still moving. Looks like that was actually Jenkins that time.
Great job by Jenkins to push the pile, and really he got 3 or 4 more yards after initial contact, which is always great for your running back.
Actually, that was Robert Lee, excuse us.
Gain of 7 on the play, second down and 3 yards to go.
And Oxford, looks like Oxford's opponent, if they win tonight, Starkville now leads Saltillo 45-7 in the fourth quarter. So I think Starkville will participate in the second round of the 5A playoffs. And Ellis this time is going to hand the ball off. Not much of a gain there. Approaching 8:40 here in the fourth quarter. Oxford still leads 24-14. A third and second situation for the Provine Rams now.
That was a great job there by Juan Edwards and Joel Forrester to get back there. Juan Edwards just played a great game in relief for the injured starter, Jarquise Adams.
So approaching 8:20 in the fourth quarter. Provine's going to look to get these 2 yards. Keep moving down the field. Ellis is going to take it up himself this time, and Oxford is going to push him back. Let's see what they call there. That one was very close, Cody.
Number 5, Ellis, on the keeper. Ball is spotted at the 46. Official timeout on the field for measurement.
It looks like they're going to measure that one, Cody. From where I'm looking at right now, it seems to be a little bit above the first down marker, but it's really close. And that's going to be short, Cody.
Just a very, very little amount.
Extremely short. That's 1 inch.
I mean, that's just a great job by Oxford. They went to a huge front. They just had 5 or 6 defensive linemen, just up against the offensive line. They were able to push forward and stop the quarterback from getting there. And they just entered Clifton Smith, who's a center on this team, at defensive tackle there just to stop him from running that sneak. He played defensive tackle earlier in his career with Oxford before moving to offensive line. Looks like they're going to put him back there to help generate a good push on the defensive line.
We'll see this one. And Oxford's really getting loud for their defense here. Turnover on downs would be very nice for Oxford. Ellis this time, and Cody, I don't think he got it.
We'll have to see where he fell because it didn't seem like he had it initially, but he might have got it with the second surge.
Joel Forster's helmet comes off, and he's going to have to come off the field for one play now. Of course, to prevent concussions.
It looks like they will get the first down.
You're right. Ellis did get it on the second surge, but as I was saying, to prevent concussions or prevent players from playing with concussions, as soon as you get your helmet knocked off, you have to go off for one play. So unfortunate for Oxford, Joel Forster's out. Ellis under center. He's looking to fire the ball, and he's going deep down the field. 2 Oxford guys down there, and he's going to overthrow that one. I think he was just trying to get rid of that.
The defensive line had a great surge, was really getting back there, so he tried to throw it deep to Bates, but Bates was once again double covered. Oxford's done a great job of containing him in the second half.
Cody, and I know we commented on the Provine band earlier, and I'm sure our outside microphones are picking that up, but they're really jamming on the other side there.
Definitely, I mean, you got to love their enthusiasm and how much they get into it. That's just a remarkable thing to see.
Just a heavy bass, and they play a lot of popular songs right now, so it really gets some fans into it. Of course, not a lot of Provine fans here, but I'm sure a lot are watching, and Ellis this time is going to hand the ball off, and it completely fooled Oxford. And a decent carry, actually a very good carry by Provine.
And Greg Walker there, the fullback/defensive lineman, took the carry, and I must say Oxford never saw it coming as he just kind of snuck out of the backfield, had 5 yards before anyone even knew he had the ball. That was a great job there disguising that handoff.
Ellis now under center, and he's going to hand the ball off to Lee. Lee's going to get a decent gain on that one. So effective right now, Provine is moving the ball up the field.
All right, Master Yoda.
Thank you for that one, Cody. But definitely effective. They've used Lee. Jenkins has actually been out for the majority of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, but Lee has been effective, and earlier Walker, and then, of course, even Ellis has been.
The offensive line's got a great push to spring their backs to get these good carries.
Ellis under center again. He's going to hand the ball. Actually, no, Ellis is going to take off with it, and looks like Oxford's going to get him. That's Xavier Piggies.
That was a great job there by Xavier Piggies getting the backfield. Tried to do another rollout, and Piggies just flew through and took him down with one arm. That was a great job there by Piggies, who has, of course, as you can tell, returned to the game after his previous injury. It's a great job there to get, showing his explosiveness off the line to get to him.
He's another one of those players that, wants more than just high school football. He wants to continue his career, and he really wants to show maybe scouts or anybody watching that he is a next level type player. So Ellis back under center. I haven't seen him all night at shotgun. They're effective that way, and he's going to try to throw the ball down the field, and it's going to be picked off by Oxford. And the Oxford Chargers get their 3rd interception of the night, and they're still going. Finally flipped over. That was D.K. Metcalf, the freshman, and the Oxford side just goes crazy. Everybody on the field. And that just was a great time for that, Cody.
I mean, Ellis has played a great game all day, but they're just doing the triple coverage. DK did a great job of playing zone and getting there. Just a great job with the pick and showing his agility after the catch. Just a great job there by Metcalf to read the play and get that pick.
So again, the momentum back on Oxford's side, and the Oxford secondary tonight, Cody. Maybe this season they've done their job, and mainly has been the defensive line, applying pressure and making sure that the quarterback doesn't get the ball out of his hands. But tonight, even when the quarterback has, the secondary has done a good job. KT McCollins and now DK Metcalf. So now Parker Adamson out there in an I formation under center. He's going to take the snap, hand it off to Cortland Barnes. Barnes going to get a good carry, takes it out to midfield. Barnes is at the 40, and he's going to get to about the 35-yard line. An exceptional run by Cortland Barnes.
That was a great job there, just weaving in between the tackles from the beginning of the run to really spring himself. And then once he saw daylight, he just was gone, for a good 20-yard gain. That was a great job by him, just to show his speed once he gets to second level, but to make the read at the beginning of the play and follow his blocks well. And it looks like there will be a false start.
And Provine's band might have had something to do with that. They're blasting away. Very effective.
Looks like Kirk Lauder was the man who jumped on that play. Just jumped early there. So obviously Oxford's going to be putting back 5 yards, and they're going to have, a little more to work with. So now they're probably going to have to go for a pass here just to make up for some of those yardage.
So a 1st and 15 for Oxford. Ball at the 40-yard line. We're approaching 4:59 here in the fourth quarter. And Provine's going to have to stop Oxford if they want to have a chance in this game. Adamson's going to hand the ball off, and whistle blown again, Cody. Could be another pre-snap foul against Oxford.
Penalty flag on the play. Delay of game against Oxford.
And just a tough, very unnecessary, play there, by Adamson. He should have called call for the snap, and very unnecessary for the Chargers.
Yeah, delay a game penalty right there, and it could have been that he didn't have the call in from the sideline. We don't really know, but obviously you don't want to have 2 penalties like that in a row. That's just not a great way to start this possession.
And Adamson now facing a 1st and 20. And he's going to play action. He's looking to fire the ball deep. The pressure getting to Adamson. He's going to roll out of the pocket, and he's going to try to make a bad situation into pretty, positive. Not too much of a gain there, but not too bad for Oxford.
I guess it definitely could have been a lot worse. Provine did a great job penetrating and getting into the backfield right where Adamson was. Didn't really have time to set and throw. Just tried to run and make something of it. Good job by Provine to get in the backfield.
2nd and 21 now for Oxford. Ball at the 46-yard line. Adamson takes a snap, looking to go deep down the field. He's looking for Nick Brown, and it's going to be caught by Nick Brown. Absolutely amazing play, and the Oxford side goes wild.
He just ran a classic streak up the field. Beautiful pass by Adamson, and then a great catch by Brown to turn around and find the ball. Just showing off his speed there, and then once again showing off his hands. You just can't say enough about his hands, especially on the deep ball.
And now with 3:44 left in the in the fourth quarter, Oxford now facing a 1st and goal situation. If they score here, this could easily put the game away. Adamson under center, an I formation. He's going to hand the ball off to Colin Lee, looks like, right off the bat. But he's not going to get too much on. Actually, that was Cortland Barnes. Faked it to Lee.
Aaron Jones, the sophomore D lineman, was the first to get to him. That's a great job by him. He's had some success really just getting into the backfield, getting past the offensive line in the initial surge, and he definitely will hope that he can continue doing that.
Adamson now from shotgun, looking to fire the ball. He's looking for a fade, and that one was dangerous, Cody. If it was a little bit shorter, that could have been picked off by Provine.
Brown almost had it there. Looks like it did hit the ground, but yeah, the Provine defender did a good job just running with him on the out route there and almost had it. Just a risky pass, but it's not going to hurt anyone there as it falls incomplete.
So a 3rd and 11 situation for the Chargers now. Adamson under center, I formation. And there could have been maybe a timeout. I think Oxford called out.
Oxford did call a timeout there. Looks like they're just going to have to think about it. They got a 3rd and 11 inside the red zone, so obviously they have a whole lot to talk about for this play. They're going to try to get a play that can really just earn back, just get them that touchdown. Obviously, you want to go for a pass here due to the yardage, so Oxford's going to have to look for a good pass to get them this long touchdown.
And, Cody, let's look at the playoff picture right now. West Point playing Canton today, and looks like West Point's going to win that one. So West Point would move on and play the winner of the, looks like the Ridgeland and Center Hill game. And, of course, Oxford will play the winner of the Starkville-Saltillo game, but that one's going to be Starkville. They have a comfortable 45-7 lead last time we checked. So if Oxford wins tonight, they'll play Starkville at Starkville, and West Point would play Ridgeland at Ridgeland. Of course, Ridgeland is winning right now 13-6. That game's pretty close. We'll see how that turns out. And then on the other side, you've got Wayne County playing Moss Point. Then you have Pearl River Central, playing Macomb. And you also have Picayune playing West Jones. So we'll see how, Picayune playing Brookhaven, and then West Jones playing Pascagoula. A lot of teams on this bracket, and we'll see how everything checks out by the end of the night. 3rd and 11, Adamson. He's looking to fire the ball, and he's got it to Nick Brown. Through his hands, incomplete, and Brown is not happy with himself there.
That was a great job by Adamson. Had the pressure immediately off the blitz, was able to just to get the pass off, and had a good pass in there. Brown wasn't able to handle it, and now there seems there's a penalty flag on the play, so we'll have to see what that call is.
And Starkville has defeated Saltillo 45-7. Ridgeland has defeated Center Hill. So those two games complete, and that was a holding call against the Oxford Chargers, so they're going to send out Cody Mills now to get 3 points, and that would make this a 2-possession game for Provine with only 2:38 left in the fourth quarter.
Cody Mills on to attempt a 28-yard field goal.
So a 28-yarder should be a chip shot from Mills. And the kick is good, Cody, so the Oxford Chargers take a 27-14 lead with 2:32 left in the fourth quarter, and right now if the Provine Rams can handle it on defense like they have been, this could easily be an Oxford win, and they would go to Starkville next week.
Provine has to score 2 touchdowns to get the lead. Crazier things have happened, but Oxford has to like the position they're in right now. They get a good defense possession out there, then they can advance to the next round.
Cody, win, loss, whatever's playing on the system here, sound system here, the Provine band doesn't really care. They're trying to outblast everything.
Well, I mean, the good part is they're playing very well, so if we have to hear something, at least we're hearing very good music so far by the Provine band.
Extremely good music, just a good job by the Provine band.
Number 29, Cody Mills, set to kick off for the Chargers. Back deep for Provine.
An update on the West Point Canton score. West Point is now leading 38-0. So it looks like West Point is going to walk out victorious in that game. They will play Ridgeland this upcoming Friday. So just a big playoff picture in 5A, and a very attainable goal for the Chargers to get to state. They just have to start playing like they have been early on in the season. This time Mills. And that looks like he was going for an onside kick there. And that's going to go out of bounds, Cody. A very high onside kick. For a second looked like it might have been effective, but a Provine player did a nice job of getting in the way. And that's going to be a penalty on the Chargers.
Yeah, new one out of bounds, so there's a penalty. But looks like Oxford's just trying to, get this game over with and get the onside so they can get the ball back. And they just kicked it high, and a lot of times do that either to, make it harder for the defensive player to catch the ball, or so your team can just run up and, catch it almost like they're catching a punt. No, it just didn't go down for Oxford this year. Cody Mills has done very well on onside kicks, but that time they just couldn't recover it.
It's really hard for a high school kicker to accomplish as much as Mills has, and Cody, the scoreboard has completely gone dark here at Bobby Holcomb Field, and now it's back. I think the referees are making sure everything is right on the board. And the operators are right next door to us. Look like they might have had something go on there. Let's quickly back up. So 2:32 left, 1st and 10 for Provine. And Ellis is going to complete the pass. And that's going to be a first down for Provine.
Number 24, Bates.
There's another pass right back to Bates, and really they are lining up in shotgun for the first time in this game, and they know they have to pass it now in order to have a chance in this game.
First down and 10, Provine.
And it's a very attainable goal. 1 touchdown, an onside kick, and another touchdown. We've seen it many times before. And he's going to take the snap. Darius Liggins now in the backfield, and he's chasing Ellis. And Ellis is going to get rid of the ball. It's going to be complete, but good job by the Oxford Charger of getting Ellis to hurry.
It was a very tight window. He had to get the ball in. Eric Hunt on the reception, and that was a good job by him throwing on the run and just throwing it into a tightly guarded wide receiver. That was a good job there by Ellis.
Provine.
So a 2nd and 3 for Provine now. Ball at the 43-yard line. We're approaching 1:40 in the fourth quarter. The Oxford defense must hold strong. And looks like a false start call on Provine, and Robert Lee is furious.
Against the Rams. Penalty is 5 yards.
And he knew right off the bat that was against Provine, and that hurts them. And push them back.
One thing you'll notice with Provine running the shotgun is their system is a run-based system, a lot of I formation, so shotgun isn't really their forte. That's not something they run a whole lot, so this is a good place for Oxford to be in playing a team that doesn't run shotgun a lot late in the game.
So about 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Cody. And 1:20.
It looks like Darius Liggins was late on getting to the quarterback, so they will throw the flag, which is a 15-yard penalty.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
And our scoreboards are giving us all kinds of fits tonight.
Personal foul.
Minute and 19 seconds in the fourth quarter. We didn't want to worry any Provine fans at home. Still have a chance.
And there, Liggins, you got to know when you can hit the quarterback, and obviously after he's released the ball, you have to kind of tune it down, and he just went through with the hit, so gives the 15 yards to Provine.
Now 1st and 10 for Provine. Ball at the 33 of Oxford. Approaching 1:15 in the fourth quarter. And a timeout is called. Timeout Oxford. It looks like the Oxford defense is going to talk it over right now, make sure that they can stop Provine right there, and move on to the second round of the 5A playoffs. So, Cody, going into next week, the Oxford Chargers would play the Starkville team next week. Very tough team. They've got 3 losses on the season, and they've been to very tough teams. Noxubee County, a perennial power in our state, undefeated this year. I think they defeated the team that they were going up against by a very big score. I believe it was Lafayette. And then, of course, Starkville has lost also to West Point, and they've lost to Madison Central, who's always been a power in our state. So, very good team, Starkville. They're kind of an old-fashioned team, so Oxford's really going to have to scheme against them if this score does hold up and they go on to win this game. And Ellis' time, it's going to be incomplete. A dangerous pass that time.
Tried to get it to Bates, and looks like he just kind of sailed on him and couldn't get it to him. But back to the Starkville matchup. Starkville is, as you said, really old-fashioned teams. It's interesting to see Oxford, which has a very new, upbeat, like a new style of football. Meanwhile, Starkville is the polar opposite with just an old-fashioned, ground and pound game. So we'll have to see what they do.
That'll be an interesting matchup next week at Starkville. They're taking forever to get the ball snapped, and finally Ellis gets the ball snapped. Pressure getting to Ellis. He's going to step up in the pocket. That's going to be nearly intercepted by Oxford. That's incomplete. They were going for Bates that time, but Bates just ran out of room and ran out of bounds.
Looks like Bates almost had to play defense there. The pass was almost picked off by DK Metcalf, but he was able to knock it away and make sure he couldn't come up with the interception.
I believe that was DK Hutchins, actually, on that one. 1:03 left here in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 10 for Provine. And a high snap there for Ellis. He's going right down the field, and it's going to be nearly intercepted. Great by Oxford. They're going to call a pass interference on Oxford, Cody. And
I'm not exactly sure what the call is. Looks like he did tip the ball before he touched
that would be a bad
receiver.
Call.
Not sure exactly what they're calling here. We'll have to get the official ruling.
If that's a pass interference against Oxford, I don't think I would agree with that one. I think the ball was obviously tipped by Provine before Oxford really tried to make a play on the ball.
Looks like DK Metcalf did a great job, though. He really showed his elevation, was able to tip the ball before he even touched the wide receiver. It looks like they are saying that it's not pass interference because DK Metcalf did touch the ball. So, of course, that one's coming back. Very good call by the officials. So just a great play there by Metcalf to read the really read the quarterback and get that swat.
So 4th and 10 now for Provine. Really, this game rests in this play right here. Let's see what Provine can do. 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Oxford with a comfortable 27-14 lead. And Ellis is looking for his man. And he's going to try to turn and get the first down. Let's see if he got it.
And it looks like Bates did get the first down there, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock, so good play there for Provine and keeps them in this ball game.
Just an exceptional player, Bates is, just not only catching it, but like you said, running out of bounds. He knew where he was on the field, and very advantageous of him to step out of bounds. And Oxford now meeting with their defense, trying to scheme something before things get out of hand or give Provine a chance to get back in this game.
Really, you got to give a lot of credit to Provine. They have stayed in this game, and they have fought hard the entire game. Of course, Oxford has too, but just being down, they've never given up, and really have fought to stay in this game.
That's definitely. Of course, you should visit University Sporting Goods on the Oxford Square, our game title sponsor today. From Ole Miss apparel to Oxford High School apparel. I even believe they carry some Lafayette apparel there. So if you're, living in the Oxford area and you happen to be a Lafayette fan, Oxford fan, or an Ole Miss fan, run by University Sporting Goods, and they will supply you with all your needs. And of course, make sure you tell them that the Charger Online and the live streaming staff sent you. And Ellis this time looking to go deep. And that's going to be nearly intercepted by Oxford. He just badly overthrew his receiver there.
At this time, Ellis just kind of has to chunk it up there. They don't have much time. They badly need a score, so he's not really getting the time to look for his wide receivers he really wants. Oxford's playing just a couple men back to make sure that touchdown doesn't happen, so deep passage is hard to come by at this point of the game.
41 seconds in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 10, ball at the 22-yard line, for Provine. The Rams badly need a touchdown and an onside kick to have a chance to come back in this game. Ellis now going into the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Again, overthrows his receiver.
Looks like they'll have one more shot. If they convert the first down, they'll get another one, but unless they get a touchdown or a first down, this game would be over.
So you're right, 3rd and 10 for Provine, ball at the 22-yard line, And they're just going to have to take end zone shots.
Timeout on the field. Timeout Provine.
And Provine calls a timeout, so they'll talk it over.
In the Knoxville County 14 and Lafayette 0. That is a final.
And we've just learned that Lafayette has been knocked out of the playoffs by Knoxville County. Just sad for Lafayette fans. Of course, they went through 2 straight years of state championships under Jeremy Liggins, and of course a very young team rebuilding season for the crosstown rival of Oxford Lafayette.
And something they brought up in halftime, the Oxford Buccaneers, which was the junior team in Oxford, went 27-3 on the season and won the Super Bowl, which is their championship this year. So congratulations to everyone involved with that, and just to a great season to the Oxford Buccaneers.
Great job for them. And a lot of the Buccaneers play together, and they end up playing here at Oxford High School. The freshman class this year is the first Buccaneers class to play together with the Buccaneers and play for the Chargers. So great camaraderie and team chemistry when it comes time to playing at this level. A high snap for Ellis. He's going to get the ball away. It's a fake pass, and well defended by Oxford. That's going to be intercepted, and an absolutely amazing play by Oxford's KT McCollins, and his 3rd interception of the night. And Cody, that's going to be it. The Oxford Chargers are going to move on, take on the Starkville team in the 2nd round of the Mississippi 5A.
Yeah, we'll see the playoffs. That was just a gutsy call there to go with the halfback pass to try to get it. McCollins had a great break on the ball. That'll pretty much do it. McCollins had a great day. Provine fought hard, but looks like Oxford will come out with the win and advance to the next round.
And just an absolute job by KT McCollins. Of course, when he started out last year, he was one of the key freshmen on the team. Started as a freshman, kind of fell off a bit. He had some time to learn, and it showed tonight when he needed to step up with Conry Marr not being there. He's gotten 3 interceptions and just a great job, and he's now won the game for the Chargers.
Let's hope the Oxford Chargers will take a knee and let the clock run down.
And you're absolutely right. So the Oxford Chargers win at home 27-14 in the first round of the Class 5A playoffs. Round 1, they will take on Starkville next Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sudu Upadea, and I was joined alongside by Cody Thomason. Today's game was sponsored by University Sporting Goods and was made possible by contributions from FNC and the University of Mississippi's Documentary and Media Projects Department. Our producer today was Adi Ravishankar. Assisting him was Owen Bernard, and on camera was Drake Taylor, Thomas Murphy, and Reed Byers. We'd like to thank our advisor, Cynthia Ferguson, and all our viewers at home. The final score here at Bobby Holcomb Field, the Oxford Chargers 27, Provine Rams 14.